Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to the VL Split third season. Today, we're going to be watching the Division 3B of Verax Gold versus Team Roccet Academy, actually. With me today, we have our color caster, Oak. Hello.
Hello. Yep. No, it's going to be an exciting set of games, hopefully, anyway. I mean, week one means new teams, they got new players in them, and also meta has really diverged recently. We've seen a lot of new picks pop up, and I just want to see if any of these teams are actually going to abuse them properly.
Indeed. And with me today, actually, with you guys today, you're going to have me as your play-by-play caster. First time, Atro. We're looking at some interesting bans off the bat here.
Yeah,
Fiddlesticks
really
are...
quick to see these kinds of bans here, and they seem to mostly be targeted at what normally happens anyway, will be specific picks that we've seen in draft or in people scanning open.gg, for example, Sexy's Gen taken away from him, his most played champion this season so far, and especially some of these really strong picks that have been super strong in fives, especially like the Seraphine, like the Trist, like the Lucian as well, which have been super high prior in higher leagues that a lot of teams tend to emulate.
True. Can you run us through some of the picks here? Oh, actually, we're
Let's
seeing an
go
Anivia mid
immediately.
lane.
I
Nice.
love it.
Immediately off the bat.
So
A
good.
great pick to start off for Papa
Absolutely.
Sexy.
This is NB's pick for sure. This is the Anivia going towards him. It's his most played champion this season so far, and especially with the itemization changes that happened last patch, suddenly these mages have spiked up in popularity.
As we're gonna see that it's an Orianna pick from Stringer right now, and the Nocturne, who's been in the meta so hard right now. The jungle will probably be in the favor of Team Roccet Academy. No, Team Verax, actually.
But that's the beauty of the Nocturne. It's so strong right now, but it also can be flexed into top as well. So they still hold that flexibility in terms of where they want to put the Nocturne, and it's so good in both of those roles. Unlike the Lee Sin, which now after those nerfs has seen a little bit of struggling in those solo lanes comparatively to jungle, and has dropped in pressure because of that. The Nocturne is still completely dominating lanes through this, and straight away, Lulu Jinx picked, which I think, honestly, picking stuff like this is such a good opener because there's really very little response besides kind of macro playstyle goals that you can set yourself up for to really punish that Jinx Lulu early game, because there's no lanes that really deal with Lulu that well by itself.
Oh, a Kaisa pick came to here. But before we go on further, I have to mention our sponsors for today for the playoffs. True Haven Esports Academy have been helping us, with the whole VL League, and their current offer for 10 hours of team coaching is £15 per hour, which amounts to like £3 per hour for a team of 5, which really is a great offer. So you guys should check that out in the Discord below. As we see some more picks going on, a Malphite actually being banned here for the top lane.
And you can definitely see the Malphite. This is a very clear indicator that they're trying to move Roccet away from kind of a front-to-back comp. The Jinx and the Anivia provide a very stable source of damage. They're able to create some kind of strong unity in their front line. Then once we hit mid-game, once 5v5 start happening, I'm assuming they don't want that to be given. Leona taken away as well, which is one of the strongest supports at the moment and does really well into the Lulu in terms of punishing it early. So happy to see that kind of ban.
Oh, and we're seeing actually the second jungle ban from the side of Verax Gold actually being a Rammus here. So they might be thinking that Team Roccet Academy is searching for like a Master E peak or something to burst down Nocturne at this at least the early game, right?
Yeah,
But
and
it
also
seems like
it can kind of indicate as well that they're looking for towards something like this, the set as well, or the Shackle alongside it. Another fantastic Stride Breaker abuser in the current patch, but they hold it off for now. Pick the Alley, which again, a really good resource to try and disrupt Lulu's kind of safety in early game, and especially with the Nocturne, this provides a fantastic option for kind of these mid-game dives, right? Going for towers, looking for team fights where they can pick off individual targets.
I love the Ornn right here. I was about to say for Team Verax Gold right here, if they don't pick something tanky, even the Shaco is not going to be looking pretty if they just if they buff up that Jinx or just go burst Anivia with that huge item optimization on mid right now. But it seems like the Ornn pick, it's going to be interesting to see because those items, man, they're going to do the difference late game, definitely.
Yeah, and this champion's fallen off in popularity a lot recently in favor of those more bruiser-esque picks like the Camille, the Set, the Nocturne, which are
There you
doing really
go.
well with those stride breakers, those other items. But wow, okay, we're seeing a Yi hovered here. I really don't rate this with the Jinx. There we go. That's
There we
much
go.
better.
Hmm.
Trundle, suddenly seen a spike in popularity, and that's generally because with a lot of these stride breaker champions that tend to go into more of that defense early to mid game, he does pretty well into them. He also dominates tanks entirely, and when Alistair does try and engage, it'll be incredibly hard for him to sustain in fights if he does get Trundle ulti popped on him.
Oh, but we're seeing out picking a burst Nightshade, going out to the set. Oh no, the Scion pick would actually
He's
be
unpicked.
really,
No.
really well here.
I mean, I don't like this though, because you're picking a tank into the Trundle. I think the best thing you can opt for, especially with this kind of early game skirmish comp, with the Kalista, I mean, obviously the Kai'Sa has pretty good scaling, right? You're seeing the Nocturne, you're
Mm.
seeing the Alistair. They're wanting to focus on getting priority in this early game. And I think the best way you can do that, hard counter pick that top lane. Even if you are going to look for a tank, I don't see any reason why you couldn't opt for something like the Gnar here. You know, something with uh, uh, again, many of these team fight tools, but something that can really abuse a champion in the early game.
You know, I really
Ideally, Camille would have been fantastic here.
Yes, it would have been, but Sion is actually a decent pick in my opinion, just because of that burst damage coming out from Anivia and Jinx. If you want to cancel that out early, or at least for an early invade, it may be great for Nocturne to just pop off immediately and have Verax Gold with a huge lead. But we're gonna have to see how they play it out. And also, Sion, you know, if he goes for the sacrificial route here and decides, you know what, I'm gonna be the second support of the team, go in the top lane, just not lose it, and then help out team fights mid game, then I think it's a pretty decent pick out of a Camille or an R, as you said.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the big thing we're going to be looking for, right, is that we're looking at blue side. We're seeing, especially Roccet, they're looking for. I mean, the Anivia is going to be a really big pivot point for them, right? They've got
Hmm.
NB on his most played champion this split so far, and Anivia's really spiked in terms of power this patch, just because that Leandri's buff is so important to get her online that much earlier. Obviously, Anivia's signature build route is going that Leandri's, finishing the Archangels, and then building either Zhonya's, maybe going for a Void Star, something like that. That 200 gold buff really opens her up for earlier fight points, which is one of Anivia's biggest drawbacks. Is that when you're picking this champion, it's like, okay, pre-6, this champion doesn't really do much. Even after 6, she's really item reliant. So I'm really loving this kind of pick.
Yeah, me too. But seeing as that we're thinking that, of course, Verax Gold are also going to be thinking the same thing, right? Red side is going to be looking to really camp mid here and kind of not let Anivia scale off as much as she would like, because you're seeing NBS playing, right? And from what I've heard, NBS is a really good player. With Impress along on the jungle, I think, you know, they're going to be having a pretty strong mid laner. And if we're gonna have to keep our eyes out for the bot here, right? Because if any of the bots decide to actually play any of them aggressively, the jungles aren't really gonna have much to do here, right? They're gonna pretty much have a free reign in terms of, you know, jungle pressure, because you have a Nocturne who's probably just gonna be focused on farming early game at least, or even an invade, but we'll have to see. And the Trundle, who again is a big herbivore early game, but late game can skill off to break all those tanks like the Scion and Alistar and can just mold them down, right?
Well, I'm really happy with how Verax have drafted against this Anivia first pick, because that Nocturne and that Alistair do a fantastic job of disrupting Anivia's consistent DPS in fights. They've got, I mean, Alistair obviously having the CC cleanse is going to be really important to bite off that Anivia if she's going for more aggressive ultimate, like ulti positions. But Nocturne in the mid game with the Alistair combo with Ori, it gives them so many tools to get on a target and CC chain them to death. And Anivia's particularly vulnerable to that. So I'm really happy to see those kinds of picks put in. It's obviously just a big thing of right. Is they're on a ticking time bomb. They've got 30 minutes to really kick in high gear, get a solid win condition, and play through it. Otherwise, Jinx on 3, 4 items, and Nivea on 3, 4 items is going to become a huge threat alongside the Ornn and the front line that Power Fruit and Impress will be able to put out.
Yeah, but I don't think we've spoken enough about the subtle Orianna Scion combo here. You know, the ultimate with a good Q over there can
I
really
mean,
just destroy a team fight, technically, right?
I think the bigger thing is Ori Nocturne and Ori Ali, right? These are such easy ways to create disruption in backline, and that's going to be huge for decreasing that DPS on the Jinx and the Anivia. Anyway, looks like we're going to be heading to game.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And actually, I believe that Team Rocket is going to be blue side right here, right?
Yep,
if I'm
but
not
I'm
mistaken.
just noticing a little fumble in runes. I don't know if this is on purpose or not. Maybe I'm missing something here. Trundle's optimized for grasp instead of PTA.
Hmm.
I don't rate it. See, the issue with this is that the grasp, obviously, it does lead you into green tree, which a lot of junglers will probably appreciate. But having the opportunity to go into triumph early can be really important for your early skirmishes, alongside getting alacrity for mid game fighting, because you are going to be going into a more bruiser build with the Sunderer and the Titanic. So you don't have access to that anymore. You don't have access to a rune that really enables you to fight early. It's definitely more of a sustaining tool. So I'm a little bit confused by Impress's rune set.
I think I kind of understand the mindset behind this, because you have to look at that Lulu, right?
Oh,
And
4 to 10.
when you're looking at that Lulu, right, you have two grasps there. So if you're going for extremely tanky builds and you only got the Kai'Sa really to worry about for tank breaker,
Yeah.
then yeah, I think
Are you paused at 10, by the way? Atro?
I
All good.
have not.
Okay, no worries. We'll be with you in one moment, guys.
Yes, we will.
But yeah, no, I think I seriously doubt that the grasp is going to be very useful. I think it probably will impact society. He's also they've also both opted for blue smite, which um is interesting considering the fact that they are against. I mean, especially jungle. I think if Jimbo wants to take a lead on this early game, I think red smite's going to be really important for being able to duel impress. So I'm surprised he opted for it. Obviously, really wanting to look for some more burst, maybe a little bit more mobility in these fights, but I just don't rate it.
Yes, indeed. And really, realistically speaking, right here, what do you think is going to be the main priority here in the early game? Just farming?
For which team? Because it does depend ultimately. I think for Impress, he's definitely going to be wanting to abuse that pre-6 advantage. Well, actually, he doesn't have PTA, so I don't really know anymore. I think Jumbo's obviously going to be looking for some clean 6 camp clears. I think if he can get onto double scuttle, would be fantastic. He's got the bot side to be able to enable that kind of thing. Obviously, tank top lane is a little bit weird. It's like you don't really know which lane's going to get prio, because it depends on how aggressive each player is. Because this matchup it's a coin flip ultimately. But stable top, stable mid means that it's really up to junglers to clear properly to be able to get to their spikes quicker. I think if Impress can't look to abuse Nocturne pre-6, then he's going to start to struggle once 6 hits. And the real big pressure of Trundle is he loves counter ganking. He loves being there when Nocturne's going to be there, but that's a real big struggle when Nocturne can gank from Fog of War. Alongside with the fact that I think with this comp, they definitely want to look for an invade early. So I'm really hoping they pick up for that.
You mentioned the term of a coin flip right here, but yeah, sure, in terms of champions, that might be the case in terms of legends. But we also have to look at individual skill from what we know for so far. I think we are seeing some new names, but most of these are players that we've seen before in Split 2 and Split 1. And you said before that they were showing some promise. You guys know some of them, and in the
I
terms of
mean,
individual skill, we'll have to see how they're gonna play this out, right?
shout outs to Rocket, Impress, Papa Sexy, my men. I rate him, but I don't. You don't know. I mean, when I played with Impress, he perma smurfed, but it's been a long. It's been 4 long years. So
Ah, I see. Well, let's hope that that Smurf mode hasn't gone down a lot since you guys have played with him.
yeah.
But as we're waiting on these two teams to kind of get ready and decide what they're gonna do, we are going to wait a bit more. And yeah, I think one other thing that I want to talk about, we didn't really see it right here. The bot lane, we're not seeing an Ezreal, which is big. We didn't even see him banned, and he wasn't picked.
I
And
think honestly that must be player preference, right? Because in
mm,
my eyes, Ezreal is probably like he's definitely top 3, if not the strongest AD at the moment, because he's such a good abuser of Sunderer. And I mean that's an item you're gonna see. That and Stridebreaker are gonna be the mythics you see most in this game set. Just because they're the best mythics at the moment. That's the lie of the land. It was the same thing with Gordrink at the start of the season, and that's how it is now. Obviously, Stridebreaker change was really big last patch. The change from that dash to increasing the slow and giving it more statistical value was a really big one, because suddenly these champions that were used to having access to this item for mobility, like the Darius, like the Garen, suddenly fell off. In the meantime, junglers who already have access to that mobility and needed a bit more just oomph in their early game especially you can know Nocturne obviously being the biggest abuser of this, but other stuff like Shaco as well, suddenly finding a lot of power in this item because a lot of people have realized that your mythic doesn't necessarily tie to your build. And Shaco is the biggest one of this, right? Because his big build right now, he goes Hail of Blades, he rushes Stride Breaker, and then he goes crit. You got Essence Reaper afterwards.
Right. And it looks like we're gonna be moving on into the actual game. Let's see how this is gonna go, guys.
Great. And this is the kind of ping I was talking about. I said they want to invade. We see the pings. They're on their
Yes.
way. Oh, the beautiful red gaming patented invade happening. I love this kind of invade. What you do is now, obviously, you need a very key guarding for this, and your guarding needs to be more aggressive to deal with this. If he just sits in Tribush, I wouldn't be surprised if a flash is blown. So it's really on
Yeah.
Stringer to position himself properly here. What they're going to do is they're going to hook round on that wall. And if we can quickly change to red side vision here, you'll see he won't be able to see them until like this point here.
Yeah, there you go. The flash being used already means that Cyan will not be used for much right here, as the blue side is going to take on over the red. It looks like Autumn is trying to just poke a bit over here, trying to make his presence known, but it
Really
looks
hoping
like...
somebody drops awards. Drop a ward,
Yeah,
guys.
come
Drop the
on, come
wards.
on.
And also, I want to note there, Impress starting the red trinket. The common jungle tactic right now is what you do is you start that yellow, you place your yellow down before that 55-second mark, get your reset in and go straight for red trinket. What that enables is you get that yellow trinket on the map for free and you still have red trinket up for your first gank.
That is true. As the minions come by here, it seems that Nocturne is going to start out the red, and it looks like Alistar and Kai'Sa are going to be on an aggressive position, as Zorn is just waiting up there in the top lane. Yeah,
Yep, and
it looks...
this
Yeah.
vision here is the trade-off you get from that. So we see the blue trinket put up in the top side of the map near Nocturne and Stringer, and they get the ward on the bottom side. I think ultimately this plays off really well. Oh, maybe a fight happening here.
Yes, actually at the bot side over here, already Ignite is being used as Exhaust as well as being chased down. It looks like Nightshade is in a pretty bad position right here. He had to use the heal. He used the flash as well. It seems like Trundle wants the kill. Impress is going after it, and yes, he does. He gets the kill onto Nightshade. First early big kill right here for Trundle.
Yeah,
Wow.
fantastic punish there. Really good job of using that exhaust to slow down Herman's like DPS in the early fight, and at the same time, Impress knows immediately. Okay, Nightshade is over pushing himself. He walks down, double burns flash as well, which is fantastic for him because Alistair's going to really need that flash in the early fights.
That is true, and it looks like Stenson's already going to low HP right here. He has to back off as there's just a bit of a trade grasp trade into the top lane. Over here, they're just waiting for some poke right here. They're playing pretty passively, not gonna lie. It looks like Stinger doesn't really know what to do here, as the bot lane is still level 1. They're still trying to, you know, get that farm, really not play for poke, as it looks like red side is already on a gold loss.
Yeah, we see Nocturne doing a bit of pathing in. I mean, maybe trying to take advantage of the grasp here. We saw earlier NBS getting really taken advantage of in this matchup, and that's because the big thing is that Ori has a lot of prior in this lane first. The only way that Anivia wins trades 3-6 is through hitting that Q that I think it's called Chilling Wind, Flash Frost. So it's so vitally important that he doesn't use it on creeps like he's doing now, because that just gives them basically no prior in lane, and you're going to see, hopefully, Atman really taking advantage of that.
Yeah, Atman right here is playing very, very aggressively, which he should early game pre-6. That's his best chance right here. Oh, and look over the gank from Jumba getting in here. It doesn't do much, he just gives a little bit of poke and tells Jensen to back off. But the top lane is actually being dominated by Papa Sexy over here, who's not being pushing back. You know, he knows Impress has jungle advantage right here. The warding actually helps him out a bit, and from what he can tell, everything is pretty fine and dandy. Orianna actually used their flash.
Yeah, directed camera just trolling us a little bit. Impress came straight for a gank afterwards and managed to blow Atman's flash, which is...
Oh, the fight already coming in from Impress. It looks like he's caught in the corner right here. He's getting ticked off by both Autumn and Jumba right here. Oh, and will this be a triple kill? The flash is being burned out. Both of the flashes are being burned out by both Soul Freeze and Power Fruit. Oh, that was a bad trade.
Jumpers. Yeah, unfortunate for Impress and the bot side for Roccet, because they kind of try and do the rotation, but this Anivia trade that you saw has really been affecting this mid lane. Even after the flash is blown, Assen is Autumn. Is that his name?
Yes.
Autumn, great, cool, chill. Autumn is just has the default prior, so gets to move down with Jumbo, take advantage of Empress trying to get on that second scuttle there, and yeah, kill gets blown, triple
But,
flash.
but look a bit, they missed a few cannons there over their bot side, but look at top lane right here, right? Papa Sexy's not giving Stringer any sort of, leeway. He's going all in, he's staying at him on the turret, and it looks like he's doing a pretty good job at it. Stringer with no mana right here could fall down to a pretty quick gank under the turret here, level 5.
Yeah, and we're gonna see he's pathing towards it now. And Stringer, yeah, definitely gonna suffer on this Scion pick early. Goes into the Doran shield, which I think a lot of people do corrupting pot for this exact reason. You can see his mana is completely depleted. And Scion's also championing the spikes really hard. Number one on
Oh, it
CDR.
is two
And
ganks at
also,
the same
oh,
time. Stenson is forced to use Flash there as Jumba gets over into him. And it looks like the top lane gank is going to happen as well. Stringer is going to go down by the hands of Papa Sexy. Who will he get out of this? There's a lot of damage coming in from the turret. And can Stringer touch him? No, he cannot, as he goes away freely. Wow. Well played by Impress over there, tanking the turret a bit for Papa Sexy to actually get the kill and let him feed himself up a bit.
yeah, and we see a immediate Bramble Vest being picked up here. I don't really rate that too much. I'd rather see the Balmy Cinder picked up there, go straight into your Sunfire, get that Mythic as early as possible. But I guess he respects Jumba's ganks coming into this mid game. Yeah, really, really well played in that dive, right? And we can see at the same time that gank in the mid lane not working out as well. Just because NBS is he's just chilling at the moment. He doesn't really need to do much in this lane other than wait for his ulti to come up, and you can see him conceding CS for that exact point. And
Yeah.
Nivea really known for being weak in this pre-6, right? But once you're 6 unlocked, this lane should pivot.
Yeah, but look at that, right? Because Stenson was forced to use that flash just for the fact so not to give a kill, not to waste his passive right there, his guardian angel. But Jumba is not playing this as I would have liked. Already 6 it has been reached by the mid lane, and it seems like a bit of a fight is gonna break out. Just poke though, as Red Dragon is gonna be used up by the team of VG. But I want to say that I don't like how Jumba's playing this. He's playing this way too aggressively. He's not farming enough, and he's not gonna hit 6 at the level that he needs to, right? He's level 5 right now, but it looks like Impress is steadily going on a bit better.
Yeah, honestly, clears from both jungler is a bit weird here. I think taking this dragon is an absolute necessity with their comp. With this early game focus comp, with this kind of, they're really looking for fights in the mid game. They really want to be taking Dragon to Soul Point as early as possible because they do get outscaled. But yeah, both junglers just aren't really finding the clear paths they need to hit 6 quickly. 7 minutes and 30 seconds and both junglers are still level 5.
That is true, but it looks like bot isn't... actually, red bot is doing pretty well here with a... The gold difference here is not that big. It's only like 300 right here just because the junglers are finally managing to get their camps. But it looks like nobody's really going in for any ganks. The CS has been not being prioritized right now by any team, really. And everybody's just searching for that vision to find that perfect gank as Jumba finally reaches level 6. There you go.
Yeah, and fantastic. Has the paranoia active now? So suddenly, this power spike's been unlocked. I'm really looking towards this bot side. I want to see how much Soul Breeze and Power Fruit can be abused now, because that's their big power play. Getting the Ori down on that bot side along with Jumba, getting the paranoia and the command shockwave, to set up for a possible dive. I mean, that's really the kind of pressure they need to be putting out because their comp is so focused in this mid game.
Yeah, look at that. You told me that Grasp wasn't the best idea on Scion right here, but look, a full combo done by Papa Sexy right here only took Scion about, like, what? That wasn't even a quarter of his health. Oh, but the bot side is already going in hard. Both heals and the Ignite was actually used by Nightshade over there. As he went on to low HP, Soul Breeze tried to find some sort of kill here, but he shouldn't do that. He's low HP. He's gonna die if he goes all in here just for a support kill. It's 2-1. You should play this defensively, but level 6 has been reached by him. He has his ultimate, so he's ready to just go and deal some damage right here and just maybe get that ultimate in. But it looks pretty harsh right here.
And Soul Breeze doing a really good job here. I think just kind of creating a little bit of lane space by abusing that auto advantage. Unfortunately, gets chunked really low, but that's the real big space you have in this lane. So long as you can avoid Alistair combo, you have the range advantage, you have a Lulu. They should be winning trades by default so long as they don't get combo.
Yeah, but we should look at the top side over here because Nocturne is looking for that gank and he just cannot find it as just the casual trades going on by in the top and mid lane. He should really keep farming. I don't think this is the time to be. Even though you hit 6, right? Everybody's just outscaling you so hard that you should just focus on farming right now. Hit a power spike and maybe find that gank that you just need to pop off right here.
Yeah, I think big thing is clearing through his top side as quickly as possible. A little bit of grass trading in the top lane. Gotta love it.
Mm.
Yeah, he needs to be out of his top side as quickly as possible. Clears need to always be leading into that top side downwards, so he has the option to gank mid a bot, because Nocturne doesn't want to be on top side anymore. He doesn't want to be near Papa Sexy and Stringer, because ultimately it's tank versus tank. It doesn't matter what happens in the lane. He just wants to wait for those champions to become, you know, big old HP threats in mid game, right? In the meantime, Herman is getting, just not the lead that I think you want to be getting.
Yes, when you're a Kai'Sa, you definitely have to out CS your ADC. Oh, but look at that! Impress is already going in on the gank. He's level 6. He can do something here. But both of the players onto the bot side are trying to get away. Nightshade on low HP. Is he gonna get out? The ultimate used up by Jinx. Yes, he does. Wow, not even have to. Oh, he didn't have flash there, but he should have forced that. You know, I think Impress, not Impulse, could have gone into the turret for that kill and gone back. An aggressive player like that would have
when that the unbreakable will is on the Alice, it's quite scary because you can't really judge your damage. I mean, 55% reduced damage is quite scary, knowing all your damage is default heart before resistances, kind of terrifying. So I respect it for not trying to dive and maybe getting off a kill or two.
That is true. It seems like everybody's recalling right now onto the bot side, and mid side is looking pretty bleak. Not any real fights have been going on there, and it looks like Anivia is just taking out Skull. She's just a walk in the park,
Yeah.
Not much
This
going
is
on.
kind of what she wants to be doing. I wouldn't be surprised if she's rotating between each mid wave to any other camp she can take. That's Ori's job. Ori. That's Anivia's job. She wants to be farming up as much as possible. Once you get that 6, clear every mid wave. Go take wraiths from your junglers. It's a trundle. It doesn't matter as much if he gets the gold. In return, getting that Anivia on the item as quickly as possible is going to be really, really important for these fights because they are up against an early focus comp. So they really want gold on Anivia and Jinx funneled as much as possible.
Yeah, but the Drake fight here might be going on as the Earth Drake was actually summoned over here, and 4 people onto the side of VG are going on here. Impress is just lurking on about, waiting for his top lane. There you go. The whole team fight is over here as a good wall blocks by the Sion. Another Orianna wall goes out, and look at that, already first kill going on by Hermit. There we go. By Herman, not Hermit, excuse me. As it looks like Sion's falling down to low HP as well. The Drake isn't being fully worded yet, and that's huge right there. There you go, Soul Breeze with the ultimate, taking out so much HP. It looks like Nightshade's falling down to low HP as well, but he won't go back down. Again, the double kill actually coming out from NBS is huge right here, as there were just a lot of kills going on left and right, and I don't know who got the better end of that.
Well, okay, it was a kill trade, 3 for 3. Also, a lot of summoners were burned. No flashes available on carries anymore other than Herman. But we did see the Verax got the first Drake, or the second Drake, which we talked about before. They want to get Soul Point as quickly as possible. That's the unlock they need. Even though they played that fight poorly in terms of Stringer just over-pressing and allowing Soul Breeze to get excited and start to pop up in that fight, even through that, they get second Drake, which means that come next fight, they're still gonna have the option again where we're stronger. We can win a fight this time, and then maybe with less errors, they'll get off a successful fight, get third Drake, and look for Soul Point.
Yeah, but that get excited really turned the fight around, because if that wasn't there, then the fight definitely would have gone in the hands of VG, right?
Yeah, I also want to shout out NBS. Fantastic usage of all of his abilities there. Ignoring the fact that he managed to wall off the side from having a successful unstoppable onslaught. On top of that, fantastic use of his ulti, just DPS solo.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. Autumn already using up his ultimate to get another kill onto NBS, which is huge right here. The bounty has been taken on, and the Herald is doing a lot of damage to the mid turret.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't see it happening, and then suddenly that shockwave spurn, and NBS not only out of passive, but also down a life as well. Really sad to see.
The gold lead is gonna have to look pretty bad right here for the blue side, because you're 1k and something in deficit, 1k and 3 and 4 actually in deficit. You're gonna have to do something about this. You're gonna have to force a little bit of a fight here if you want to even it out at least.
And honestly, this is fantastic for Verax's comp, because they're solely focused on these mid-game fights. They want to kill Jinx and NBS as quickly as possible, and getting gold on the Ori is a really easy way to unlock that, because that Shockwave, such an easy tool to create disruption in backline. That having the bonus damage that you're getting, or getting that Ludens that much earlier, being on pen boots that much earlier, is going to be really big for these fights.
Yeah, it looks like both of these teams are prioritizing wording a lot right here. It seems like they are actually giving away CS for the sole purpose. Oh, a big
Huge
actual
combo.
onto the north side. Huge combo coming out of both the support and the ADC of Verax Gold side. They get the kill onto the Jinx, but oh no, Nightshade goes down by the turret, and a lot of HP has been burned down by the side of Herman as well. He's pretty vulnerable right here if Trundle decides to go all in. But he doesn't really have his flash, so he can't really do anything here with Jumba looking around. 2 levels above the jungler, the enemy jungler. Jumba is pretty decent right here. But
Yeah, and I
he's
think
gonna
that
have
was
to
really
see.
unfortunate for Nightshade, right? That unbreakable will ran out right as that final tower shot hit. Really sad to see, but still a fantastic dive and exactly what we were looking for.
Yeah, the combo coming in actually from Herman and Nightshade was perfectly executed, right?
Oh,
Oh, NBS. So close to actually getting taken out. Impress just want to get the kill, and NBS is going to be pretty greedy right here, and he's going to get taken down before the trade happens. Look at that.
Ah, classic. So greedy. And then in return there, they obviously they get the shutdown on Trundle, right? 600 gold is going to be really big. But NBS really wanted that and gets punished really aptly. Well played by Autumn, I think. Just brilliant spacing to hold that ball right in position to stop Anivia from walking up. Gets that dissonance off to pick up, I feel.
It's very funny to me that immediately as he dies, NBS just decides to now buy the stopwatch, you know?
Yeah, bit of a purchase, and I think that's Anivia's. That's where she's going to be looking for next. Once she's got that that Xerath's unlocked, she's going to be then looking hopefully towards the Sonya's, because it is so important stopping that paranoia, the shockwave from being super effective in these fights.
It hurts really bad to look over at the team leaderboard and see the difference in CS between the two junglers right here. Impress, you know, you've been doing amazing ganks so far, and so has Jumba, but there's 2 levels difference, right? There was 3 levels at one point.
This is the power of Nocturne. This is why this champion is so strong in the meta right now, because alongside with that stride breaker, he gets so much raw stats to be able to do these fights and these clears as quickly as possible. And you can see in mid game, you can see how suddenly dominant he's been. He went that a lot of the damage coming out through that bot lane to kill Soulbreeze through that dive was through the exhaust with that stride breaker Nocturne.
And another team fight is looking to be brewing up here in the bottom jungle, as wow, Nightshade is playing this so aggressively, and he's gonna have to pay for it. Look at that. Oh, even though the Nightmare actually going on to Jinx, getting taken her out, Jumba with the extreme burst damage going on over here. NBS is looking pretty bad as well, even though Power Fruit's ultimate has been gone off on him. Nightshade still isn't taken down. Even the TP coming out from Ornn is going into the mid lane. A team fight is happening. It just has to be brewing up here. And Impress tries to get away, tries to get the damage onto Stringer, but Stringer is so tanky. Look at that. He's not being taken out.
Finally, they actually burn the Subjugate. I was wondering when that tool was going to be burned. Yeah, honestly, I'd be surprised to see a lot more happening in this fight. I'm really surprised actually that Roccet aren't deciding to do objective trades instead. They should understand that the Nocturne, the Kai'Sa, and the Ori are going to be stronger in these early skirmishes before that 25-minute mark, before 2 items on both their carries, right? So really, they should be looking for trading objectives. You know, getting Stringer. Call of the Forge got burnt.
Yes, it did, but it looks like he got Impress a bit. Nitro trying to get out, but he won't manage it. Yes, he does, actually. Even the Get Excited didn't take him out, because the heal actually was really, really well played there. It seems like he's gonna get away if he just doesn't fight this, although Herman is playing this pretty aggressive. The TP actually used by Stringer over here, who was an amazing bait for the Dragon last fight, might I say. It looks like, oh, look at that, the Q onto, the Orianna ultimate with Jumba's actual Q on there was a lot of damage used, and three kills. Yes, is gonna happen onto Papa Sexy right here. Yes, look at that. 3 kills coming in again for Verax Gold. That's huge.
And again, continuing, why are they fighting? You have to question it. They should know what their comp's goal is. They should understand that they're scaling. They try and stop, you know, maybe what they thought was an overextension to get another objective. You know, they got the Drake, they got the fight, then they get mid tower, then they rotate to Herald. It's like, okay, we can stop this now, guys. But they're not thinking about, you know, ultimate, the tempo that Jumba and Autumn are maintaining right now. They get caught again in a fantastic command shockwave, and now Jumba's just gonna take top side. They unlock that Rift Herald, and yeah, I mean, suddenly this gold leader spiked so hard.
Not only the goal lead, but look at the objective lead as well, right? 3 Drakes coming in for Verax Gold, not even one of them contested really. Impress is really has to, you know, like perk up and talk to his team a bit and decide to, you know, coordinate his ganks a bit more because it's 7 versus 12 right here. It's not looking good.
Yeah, and I think the big thing is just minimalizing trading at this point. Now, because their gold lead is so big, that 4K is going to really matter for this final Drake, right? Imagine
That's a
if they
whole
had
mythic.
instead, exactly, it's a whole item. And especially if you check gold real quick, you'll see that there's a huge gold diff in some of the most important roles at the moment. Nocturne's 2K gold ahead, Ori's 1K gold ahead, and Kaiser's 1K gold ahead as well. So it's looking pretty significant. And what this means is for that fourth Drake, you know, if they had decided to try and trade objectives, funnel CS into Soul Breeze and NBS instead of looking for these skirmishes, they may be able to fight for this final Drake, but now it's just not happening. And even with the Soul Drake not being as important, it's still going to be a huge spike for them to get it this early.
That is true. I'm just amazed by how aggressive Nightshade is playing. He's gotten disengages so well, and already, Orianna using up her ultimate for Papa Sexy just for a bit of poke right there.
Bit Papega to try and punish an On like that. But you know what? Papa Sexy bringing it in real big, just going, I don't really care. Walks it off.
It's just an Orianna ultimate. It won't do me any harm, right?
Who really cares anyway? I'm a big old Orn. Yeah. So really good to kind of burn that tool, but like, it doesn't really matter too much. Ori's Shockwave not on a super low cooldown, and through that aggression in the bot side gets an easy reset, and in the meantime Jumba and Nightshade were able to walk into not Verax, sorry, walk into Roccet's bot side, clear some vision out, and set up their own pings.
We were so focused onto the mid side fight that was brewing up into the bottom jungle and going on to mid, and the turret even being taken out by the Herald, that we didn't actually talk about, you know, the top turret actually being taken out. And right here, Sion or even Jumba really could actually just go and take on the top side.
You know, I actually really don't mind if Papa Sexy and the rest of his team decide to leave some of these side towers. I think these mid towers are really important for maintaining vision, but knocking along those first towers can actually be a really important tool to create consistent wave pushes towards you and to create a CS lead. So yeah. It's just a shame that they've fallen so quickly, because especially with this Herald being burnt now mid, suddenly Jumba and Nightshade have so much power to be able to go, okay, let's push in this mid wave, let's push in this top wave, and just create a really big vision deficit around that Baron. It's going to give them a lot of control in a space where already Impress and the rest of his team are kind of struggling.
Yeah, that's what I was about to go on. You know, there's such a big goal diff right here, and both the teams, you know, I just don't want Verax right here to say, we got the game won already. You know, we've got 2 Heralds, mid is pretty much down all the way to the well, and I just hope that they don't stop, you know, being serious. I hope they continue to just push on through with this aggression and kind of dominate.
It is Div 3, so anything can happen. And it's also Cloud Soul as well, which I think everybody would argue kind of the least effective soul you want to be on. I think an Infernal or an Ocean would feel much more impactful for these fights. Nonetheless, what that does enable is these consistent Shockwave CDs being on that super low cooldown. It also enables Killer Instinct and Paranoia to really have that much more threat in these mid-game fights, right? Because on top of the utility and damage that they provide, it also means that they're going to have access to use those tools kind of sparingly almost to create safe spaces for the rest of their team and themselves.
Yeah, but I have to appreciate how Verax is playing this, because look at the side splitting, right? 2 people go up top, 2 people go up bottom. Actually, the top side wasn't really, it was taken out by MBS, which you have to say he did the right job here. He did the right thing.
Well, actually, that's the thing though, because like, do you really want this tower gone yet? What this means now is that if he ever wants to push out that side lane, if he doesn't push it correctly, it might not bounce back to him immediately, which means that, you know, there are 2 carry comp, right? They want to get gold on NBS and Soul Breeze as much as possible, which means that they don't really want Ornn catching waves anymore. They want to be doing this kind of 2-1 lane split with Soul Breeze or NBS catching 2 waves at once. And that really kind of falls out the window if you unlock these side towers. So yeah, they might struggle a little bit more now, especially because Soul Breeze and NBS both are super vulnerable in that side lane.
But you have to look at the micro play as well, right? Because again, from the pings that we saw, Jumba is pretty confused about what's going on in the VC of, Team Rocket right here. He saw the Anivia and he got completely confused. The top tower was gone. Okay, we know that would happen. It was low HP. But now it's like people going on to the Baron. Are they even thinking about, forcing a fight into the Baron? Which, from his perspective, it would be stupid. And realistically, it would kind of be forced, right? Oh, and already Nightshade is taking a bit of poke, but look at that. He barely takes any damage.
Yeah, but this kind of stutter play from Impress and the rest of his team is really important. They want to slow down this Baron as much as possible, and if they're able to pull Jumba and the rest of his team away from that Baron, best of them. But it looks like this Baron is going to be taken here, and look, you can see they're going for the trade finally. They understand that this isn't really an option for them.
Well, as you said that, the team fight is already going on, and even though the Baron has been taken on, that's a good Ornn ultimate, even though the Nightshade actually going on from Jumba, taking on a bit of poke, he falls to half HP, the Orianna ultimate does a lot of damage over there as Papasex falls to low HP, it looks like he's got taken out by Stringer, but Stringer himself is looking pretty bleak. There's another trade going on to Impress, why do I keep calling him Impulse? Look at that. Yeah, there you go. Oh no, Herman, run away. MBS is just gonna one-shot you if you're not careful. Jumba as well. Do you think that was a good trade? I don't think that was a good trade.
I don't think it really matters ultimately for either side. I think ultimately none of them really got the fight that they actually wanted. Autumn just really completely flubbing the shockwave there, getting nothing done with it. And these fights are looking really good for Saul. It's fantastic.
Oh no. Oh no, poor Autumn. Being forced out of both, I think that was his stopwatch, right?
Yeah, and this is a much bigger trade because not only did they burn through stopwatch, they also managed to unlock that mid tower as well and get a pretty significant shutdown onto their team. So yeah, really well played from Roccet because finally they get a better punish. The fight didn't go their way, but hey, Autumn overstayed, so.
That is true, but it looks like without Autumn here, even the fight is still gonna go on. The stopwatch is actually pretty good coming up from NVS, but it looks like he's gonna be forced back. He has to run away here, don't fight it. Even though Herman went down and a shutdown actually happened, that is pretty good. It looks like Nightshade is gonna run away as well. Poor engage coming in from Jumba right there, getting 2 of his teammates killed.
Yeah, bring on the monkey parade as Herman jumps in to immediately get hit by that flash frost there. I get stunned out the fight, and this is the kind of stuff that you don't want to be seeing. Jumba and Herman using their ultimates really overly aggressive. I mean, I think using the paranoia there to pop the Zhonya's, fine, whatever, but that over-aggression from Herman means, hey, they get rid of another Baron player, and look, they actually get to push up their waves now. They got to play aggressively on this mid tower, and you can see the Jinx is kind of getting to a point now. Like, suddenly, this Jinx is starting to deal damage.
Yeah, I was about to say, what did you say about this being Division 3? I think you're on the right path. It doesn't look that bad right here for Team Rocket. They can pull it back. There's only a 3-kill difference, although the gold lead is pretty big. Oh, right here, Jumba's playing so aggressive with his ultimate.
Wall. Oh, what a good wall, though. You love seeing some clean Anivia play. Fantastic use of Crystallize there to peel off Jumba. So, I mean, the paranoia, it's not on a huge cooldown. I think it's under 60 at this point, but I mean, still, being able to defend yourself from that kind of attack, really good coming into this Elder fight.
That is true, and it looks like, again, Nightshade and Jumba, I think all of Verax right here just are used to playing extremely aggressively, I think in all of their scrims probably. They're used to this aggressive playstyle, and it seems to be working out for them right here. But that's gonna be a different story coming into the second game, won't it? Because now, Team Rocket Academy know what to expect, right? They might be just picking, we're going to play on the tower, we're going to pick champions that scale really well, like a Kassadin or something perhaps, and just, outskill you.
Yeah, and this fight posturing is going to be really important here because there's a couple of tools that both teams have access to which can really start a fight in their favor. The Call of the Forge God and that Command Shockwave going to be really important.
Yeah, there you go.
Call of the Forge God happens.
Yeah, and as it goes, the shockwave is pretty big, gets 3 people, although Autumn falls to low HP, he is forced to flash out. Another flash goes out of Impress right here as he gets taken down by Jumba. Herman is going pretty aggressively, using his ultimate as well, getting a double kill right here. Ornn being taken out, and it looks like the Lulu is also looking pretty bad. He's used his flash and he's actually gotten out. Soul Breeze, oh no, what are you doing? You're trying to get the kill, but you're gonna get caught up instead, aren't you? No, you aren't actually, that was MBS on your side. Excuse me, I didn't see that right. And Stinger, oh no, the wall is pretty good. And Soul Breeze gets another kill. Will MBS be forced out of his GA? Yes, he will, as the Elder actually
Holy.
comes in clutch. Look at that.
And the funniest thing with that Elder pop onto NBS there, that was Bramble. Bramble managed to pop an Ivia passive. So that's quite funny. Anyway, they're fantastically set up for this now. Elder's such a big tool with this kind of comp to force fights in their favor. I wouldn't be surprised if this at least gives them the option to unlock an inhib by just pure sheer force. Having that command shockwave alongside with that paranoia is going to be a really big tool now to maybe unlock some of these outer towers and hopefully an inhib. But shout out to Autumn, right? What a fantastic spacing on that bull there to get a really nice clutch shockwave in the middle of that fight. It slowed down NBS and Soulbreeze from finding DPS in the fight at the first stage, half health them both, and meant that even through that wild growth being burnt onto NBS, he still ended up getting caught out there.
I'm pretty sad that Stringer, even though he has the clear advantage on CS, you know, and on level as well, he's not been showing too much, you know, like aggressiveness. Even though his whole team has been going in there, establishing their positions, he hasn't really used his ultimate in aggressive ways. He hasn't really gotten many Q stuns, you know, on a lot of the team. The shockwave isn't you know, used enough with his team. They need more coordination, even though they are pretty big on that gold lead, you know. There's what is that, a 5k gold lead or a 6k?
That's like 8k, I think, or 7k. Yeah, I think
Look at
it's
that.
7k. So, but yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing. Stringer doesn't really need to do anything like that if his team doesn't require it. Right now, he's definitely identifying as just a big old. He's just a big boy, and he's gonna stand there and he's just gonna watch Soulbreeze whack him for a billion years and just laugh at it. And I think the Athene's purchase here, obviously Anathema being a new item brought into this, brought in through this patch. Anathema, if anybody doesn't know, is an item that you mark onto an enemy champion. And in doing so, you can reduce the damage that you take from that champion by up to 30%, and it reduces their tenacity alongside that. I'm assuming he's dropped that onto Soulbreeze because he will be the biggest target for DPS onto Stringer come on these fights. And what a fantastic purchase here to really restrict Soulbreeze's access to these fights, because he can just walk up and go, no, you can't enter this fight. I'm going to be in your way, and I'm going to use my Q repeatedly to create these spaces where you can't walk through.
Yeah, but the Super Mega Death Rocket actually didn't get the Baron kill. I'm pretty sad about that. I was hoping we'd see some of that with the Jinx pick, you know. But another Baron went on through so many objectives coming in through for Verax Gold right here. I think this is gonna be probably the second to last push if the
See,
fight
that's the
goes
big
well.
thing with the changes to Super Mega Death Rocket. If anybody's unaware, it did have its damage to large monsters capped a couple of patches ago to reduce it to 800, and then they brought in the smite changes later, which meant that after 5 smite changes, 5 smites, you immediately get that 900 smite. So it's basically impossible for Anivia to steal objectives anymore, which is quite sad to see. At the same time, Stringer's getting deeped out.
Yeah, look at that. The wall was perfect. The ultimate was perfect as well. And he's forced out of a flash right there. Out of a stolen Anivia, right? That's just how much burst she has. And look at that. She's going to do the same thing right here to Nightshade, who's going to force out his flash as well. The heal is being used as well. He has to get away right here. So much has been invested into him staying alive. And yes, he does manage it because the actual good pressure coming in from the top side.
And what a fantastic rotation from Autumn and Jumba there. They see this fight not going too hot in top side and bottom mid side even. They're like, okay, great. Oh,
the Call of Forge going on. The passive kind of saving. The Shockwave actually saving Autumn himself. He's low HP. Will the Q hit? The stopwatch actually managed to hit him, but yeah, he's in a pinch. He can't do anything about that. But yet again, another rotation. Fantastic. That's so great.
Yep, Herman just really taking advantage of you know,
he wants that
kind of like 5-man rotations with the comp that can't really chase, and now he gets the inhib.
The flash is being used out of there, and look at Jumba! Oh my god, Jumba! These rotations are insane coming out of Verax. Wow, look at that! Soulbreeze getting taken out as well as Lulu. Oh my god, who would have thought? Who would have thought they would coordinate this well? Papa Sexy going down as well. It looks pretty bad right here. For the side, 10k difference. Oh my god. In gold.
This is exactly, luckily they played almost exactly to what their comp wants. We did you know, kind of tackle Jumba's maybe questionable early game trading.
Oh no, Nightshade.
A bit of over-aggression to it, dead though.
Oh yeah, but they want to take that Nexus. Come on, go Herman, take the Nexus down. Yeah, there you go. It doesn't look pretty good. Oh no, it doesn't. I think that's game 1 out of Verax Gold and Team Rocket Academy. Well played.
Well played to both. And that's the thing, it's counter comps, right? We're seeing two different kinds of comp and who can do it better. And ultimately, Roccet did a way better job of handling that kind of comp. They played through their tools for these kind of mid game fights, you know, using that shockwave and the paranoia to find picks onto ultimately just a dual carry comp, right? And in
Mm.
return, we saw especially Autumn finding fantastic early game threat to rotate that into getting gold onto Jimba, onto Herman, which we saw in these skirmishes where NBS and Soulbreeze are almost overextending through their lack of chase power, get punished really well. Rotations in that last fight were fantastic. Picks in that last fight were fantastic. So yeah, well played to Roccet out. Sorry, to Verax even for a really fantastically finished game.
I'm pretty sad that we didn't get to see much of the new items. I know we saw the chains being used, right,
Yep.
for the damage reduced, but I want to see a Hullbreaker coming out of the sun, right? Because Hullbreaker right now is kind of one of my favorite items because it's so cheesy, right? You know, the split push power that you have with that item is pretty insane, right?
Yeah, but anybody been watching the battles recently, he's been rushing the item pretty consistently. So I'm really happy to see that the Anathema's chains has been bought. But yeah, Hullbreaker would be pretty cool, especially if it's on top of something like the Camille or you know, something else.
Yeah, something that has a lot of independent pushing power. But I think, am I correct in saying that there is a 10-minute break coming up? Yes, so we're gonna be having a 5 to 10 minute break. You guys don't go anywhere, and we'll be catching you guys in a bit. Stay tuned. Okay, guys, and welcome back. We finished off our little pause there, and I think we're ready to go into the second game. We're gonna have to wait a bit on the teams, but I mean, excuse me. Let's talk a bit about what our expectations were for that game and how it actually turned out, right? Because at the start, we saw some interesting picks, and now, well, Verax just completely dominated, didn't they?
Yeah, and I think that revolves around a few key picks. Now, I'm not going to name names, okay? But there's this one champion, can be flexed in 3 roles, okay? Highest win rate in 2 of those, okay? I think he needs to be off the game now. Because Verax managed to get Nocturne, even though they're red side. It went through draft and it wasn't B1 pick. It needs to go because the champion just has so much power right now. And can be flexed so easily. There we go.
There
Bang
you
away.
go.
Fantastic adaptation here. Definitely needs to go.
Thank
Also,
you.
at that point, if NBS is able to get into this inhibitor again, I think drafting around it, or at least having a game plan set in place for the first 10 minutes is really important to make sure that they don't get to a point where it's like, okay, well, NBS is behind now. We're just waiting. Because NBS did end up suffering just a little bit into autumn. So I would like to see some adaptation there to draft a little bit more around that. Because their comp was, I would say their comp was pretty good. It has just had a very specific goal of like, you can't skirmish, right? You're not wanting to fight in this first, like, 15, 20 minutes of the game. They ended up failing to do so and fell behind. They just weren't able to catch up in time.
I understand that most of these people are banning those OTPs, but I'd like to see some bans going into the meta as well. You saw how much the meta influenced Verax's picks right here, and we're seeing a Tristana into a Galio, and is this going to be a mastery pick on the jungle?
I mean, where's the Galio going is my first question, because I already
Probably
don't.
bot.
If that's mid, I think that's such a Papega matchup. Like, you never want to be picking Galio into 80 threats, and I think but okay, bro, it doesn't matter. We've seen Ezreal, baby. I wanted to see this game on because this 80 is so good right now. And finally seeing it's fantastic, because I think even if the Triss does end up getting flexed in that boss side, Ezreal does a really good job of minimalizing Tristana's kill threat onto him, and scales just as well, especially with his Divine Thunder build, where you go into that Frozen Heart third item. It's gonna be really good with dealing with the Xin Zhao and the Tristana. But alongside that, I'm not too sure about the Galio pick. I guess we'll see how it works. They're obviously opting for something, but
In
yeah.
my opinion, the support pick is going to be a big factor right here because I think that Tristana is like the closest champion to be able to stand up against Ezreal, really, with that high amount. Yeah, there you go. The Alistar pick is perfect right here for what they need, because going into the box side, if that Galio is support like I'm expecting it to be, right? Because if you have a Galio top into what seems to be a full AD comp right here, it's going to be looking pretty bad if you don't play it, at least in the support role. A Tristana and an Alistar are really essential towards trying to combat an Ezreal, in my opinion, here, just looking at punishing him down, at least on the tiniest mistakes, right?
Yeah, I think this Sin and the Volibear being picked away for jungle, well, probably anyway, the Volibear can be flexed as well as the Xin Zhao, but it's probably jungle for both of these. I think these picks are fantastic. Not only are they really, really easy, it is really hard to mess up on these champions. On top of that, they're really powerful at the moment. The Xin Zhao has seen incredible power with multiple build paths, being able to go into the Gore Drinker or the Eclipse for different roles in his team. And I think also the Volibear, again, a champion that does really easy to pilot and in return maintains a lot of respect in this early game, and that ultimate gives you a lot of access for over aggressive plays, and I think the Galio ulti combos really well with it.
I like the decision to. I think Team Rocket are a bit scared right here of the Orianna. That shockwave, just completely demolished their morale at the beginning of the first game. And seeing that, they kind of just decided, nope, we're not going to have an Orianna. I'd rather have an Navy fighting me. But
yep, I really like the ban. I would be surprised to see an Anivia ban here. Yes, they don't ban NBS as Anivia. There's still a draft point for it. I think you can definitely still pick it here. He shouldn't feel discouraged just because he lost game 1 on it, and I think it's a fantastic pick to be putting into if you do have the time of the champion. And I think NBS had some really big highlights last game, so I'd want to see him on that champion again.
Is Papa Sexy gonna go Ornn again? Are we gonna see the double Ornn wombo combo here?
Hey, if it ain't broke.
They're debating between the tank edge. They picked the tank edge. Oh, that's gonna be interesting.
So is this top lane Kenj or support Kenj?
I think that's gonna be top. I think that's gonna be top lane. I think
that
was
rotated into a top laner with this change. Obviously, if anybody's unaware, his ultimate and his W got swapped around. So his consume is now his ultimate, and his I think something trespass is now his W, which enables him to have a lot more of this kind of fighter-esque playstyle that I think a lot of
Uh,
people were trying to funnel into before. Gets picked into Ornn, which I think
I don't
honestly
like this.
Kench loves tank matchups. He
Yeah.
absolutely shits on them. Gets grass procs really consistently.
Look,
And he's gonna end up scaling for free. So I really like this kind of pick.
I know you're fighting. I know you have a Tristana on your team, right? But you're looking at three possible tank builds right here. You know, Galio, Volibear, and Tom Kench. You should have gone for something like that. Quinn pick would have been really, really good in my opinion. But oh, Corki mid. Oh no.
I think the Corki's fantastic. I
I
really
do
like this
think,
pick here. I really
yeah,
do because it gives them the magic damage option available for their comp. They kind of need it at the moment, right? And alongside that, it's good into the Veigar. It scales pretty easy into the Veigar, and I think the Autumn's pick is actually quite questionable here because he's playing into, I mean, two carries with dashes and the rest are tanks. And Veigar generally struggles to kill tanks quickly enough until he hits those big items. So yeah, I do question this just slightly.
yeah.
Just
Already,
slightly.
it's looking pretty interesting to say the least. But as we thought, yeah, Power Food is playing the Galio, so we're gonna be seeing a Galio support here, and that means that there's gonna be a lot of roaming. You know, with Corki's ultimate, with Tom Kench's W, we're gonna see probably the most side lanes being pushed here out of all the games that we're gonna be seeing so far in today.
Interestingly enough, I don't know if this is server ping related or anything, tick related, but there are some interesting interactions between Galio and Alistair in terms of who gets their combo properly. So sometimes Alistair can buffer his Q through Galio taunt, but it's
Mm.
I've only seen it work inconsistently. So I'm wondering if it is tick related. So because obviously that would normally be where you'd be. This is the counter matchup because Galio immediately taunts, gets headbutted away instead of getting the pulverized combo. But if Nightshade is able to find a way to buffer the Q into it, then it doesn't become as big of a deal. And maybe Triss can find threat into Galio because I think Galio he's an anti-mage champion ultimately, and he is up against a Trist early, which especially strong in his early game, so long as she does go the Hail of Blades or the Pressy attack.
I'm feeling a bit bad about Jumba's pick right here. The Xin Zhao into three tanks right here, and the Corki really, and an Ezreal. There's so many dashes and so many opportunities for him to be really unusable. Just in the right conditions, he's gonna have to play for Vision, and he's gonna have to play for. Will I get these snipes with my W and E? Right? Uh,
Yeah. I really like. I think I'm honestly leaning towards Rocket's draft at this point. I really don't rate the Veigar, and also seeing Volley and Ezreal picked in the same game, kinda it excites me just a little bit. I think especially Volibear, man. I don't know what it is with this champion. I love seeing this champion in drafts like this because it has a lot of different options in terms of what it wants to do. Because it does have some dueling options into Xin Zhao, at least before Eclipse gets picked up. But it also, man, that bot side dive option is so easy and so
yeah.
heavy, especially if they can get package alongside it. That it has so many options to gank as well. Because this time it can pilot to top lane. It can choose to gank the Ornn lane because having Tom Kench ahead is definitely a different beast than putting an Ornn ahead, for example.
Yeah, that's what I
So
want to say, right? Because you have a Corki ultimate, you have a Galio ultimate, you have a goddamn Tamkinch W. Like you have so many options for for like these fast and acute ganks to happen, especially early game. You have to watch out for them. Pre six, I think pre six is gonna be crucial right here for Verax Gold if they want to pull this one off. We're just gonna have to wait and see because you know it might not be the greatest idea right here, but Team Rocket could start out with an invade. They could. They have the stuns and the
yeah,
sustain available.
yeah, Volibear definitely being a pretty strong champion, level 1, has the Q available, so gonna have the option to run in, and it might be the best thing to do. Last time, obviously, failed to do the correct kind of invade option that we talked about before. Maybe if they can get that ward up and clear ward on his other jungle camp to kind of hide his clear, could be a lot more important in establishing an early game pressure point.
Yeah, but I'm just scared right here for Verax that once they hit that level 6, Rocket is just gonna do turret dive after turret dive after turret dive, right? Three
Well, I mean, they
tanks
didn't
with a
take
volley bear.
Verax, when they were playing this fantastic dive comp, they only ended up doing it once. They ended up kill trading for it. So it might not be on these teams' agendas to play something that requires a lot of those macro choices. So I
Let's
guess we'll see.
yeah.
Ultimately, I'd love to see it as much as you. I'd really want to see that. No rune, really weird pits here. I think finally Impress decides to go PTA, which I love. Thank you, Impress. Good
Yes,
update.
yes.
Um, we do see the
Impress
fleet
does
on
go
mid lane.
PDA, but I mean, yeah, after Shotgun Alistar, after Shotgun Galio, there seems to be a lot of, kind of the same rune picks. It's just the
So
standard basic, nothing is out of the ordinary.
we are quickly going to pause at 10 seconds, guys. So just give us one moment to all sync up, and then we'll be ready with you in no time.
Yes, indeed. And there we go. Okay. So, let's put our bets right here. What do you think is gonna happen in the first like 10 minutes of this fight, of this game?
I mean, you'd want to see a lot of pressure put onto this bot side for Nightshade and Herman. I want to see Jumba maybe even doing a top side start just to be able to path towards that lane, because I think that is the most important lane for this game in total. I think you really want to get the Trist Alistair ahead, because those champions can push so much gold onto the rest of their comp by just their pure stats in the early to mid game. Jumba just managing to dodge that Q there. Yeah, really good stancing here. I think if you're not going to invade, getting that aggressive 5-point stance for Roccet is going to be really important. I mean, Impress, does he end up doing the reset into Red Trinket? He does. Gets that ward down onto the top side just in case Jumbo decides to pass through that way. Switches to Red Trinket. Much better to see this kind of start, because it means now we can clear either his blue buff when he's clearing through, or alternatively, clear looking for a gank.
Indeed, and looks like nothing is really out of the ordinary here. They're just looking for something to happen, and it seems like nothing is gonna happen right here. As the minions are just waiting to be pushed on, Corki is looking at, yeah, a good ward placement over there into the bottom jungle. They know that that word is there, so they're not gonna have big use out of it, and just the CS laning phase is gonna start to happen right here, right?
You know what's weird? I never saw any hype for the Arcana skins. So Kench is running the Arcana Kench skin, right? And Camille got one too as well. And I'm actually quite a big Camille player, but I didn't end up picking it up. And I don't ever see players playing those skins. And I don't know if it's just that the champions themselves aren't that popular, but it's just the first time I've actually seen that skin in game.
I love the Arcana skins myself. I think they're pretty interesting. Oh, already the poke coming out of the bottom. Herman is already
Fantastic.
half HP.
Nah, it's just
Look
how
at that.
Soulbreeze wants to play the lane. Obviously, Herman really looking for that level 2 spike. And hey, look, Ezreal's got a 900 range auto attack. Like auto attack reset as well, technically, you know. So being able to abuse that first level 1 and create a little bit of HP space can be really important for making sure that Nightshade and Herman don't get access to their kind of deadly level 2 for scot-free.
Yeah, as you said that, they just hit that before Soulbreeze or Power Fruit could actually capitalize on, getting level 2 first. And it looks like, yeah, just a normal trade out of Stringer right now. The roles are kind of reversed, Stringer playing the Ornn right here is going to see much more poke coming out of him early game at least. And the jungle clear, are they going well? I think they're going well.
So,
At
well,
least
I
for
mean,
Volibear.
big thing is, Impress has cleared way quicker. He skipped Wolves to come straight for this topside gank. That means that he's got that
Oh,
level
is this
3
gonna
unlocked.
work out? Level 2 already. Papa Sexy is going down to low HP, but he is... Oh no, Stinger. He's forced out to flash over there as Impress does a really, really well executed gank right there to take out the flash early
In
game.
the meantime, though, Jumbo just hit level 3 off his 4th camp, because it's clear it wasn't as efficient, but he's just going to rotate straight towards this scuttle, and he's camp lead
He's...
now, which is quite big in terms of overall jungle
Yeah, but the
presence.
mid lane gank is actually going to happen here, and the great actual ability coming out there from the Quirky. NBS decided to, you know what, I'm not going to fight this. I don't have any mana. That's not my job. Nuh-uh. And he's going to
And
run away.
Jungle just shakes hands here. Does a little scuttle trade, because now they're really able to contest each other. And I think, honestly, Impress would be looking for a bit of contention on that first scuttle. So it's a shame he wasn't able to find that, because, as Jimba gets on his itemization, you can see
Oh,
Tabai is going to be
another
almost
gang coming onto the top side. It looks like Stinger is gonna be able to is gonna manage to actually get out of this one again. But Impress is forcing him out so bad. He doesn't want to let him CS right here because he definitely has a CS advantage. He definitely has lane priority. As yeah, look at that already. Oh, another gank is actually no, not a gank, but another fight is coming out on the bot side. 2 heals being used right there, and it's pretty huge because Soulbury is falling down to low HP. Means that Herman can actually do a pretty quick EQ onto him. As he's kind of on the same HP as well, but Power Fruit is looking to get those trades as he can actually tank a bit more. It looks like Nightshade is looking to get that, and yes, he does. Look at that. He's 1 HP. Soulbreeze decides to get out, and Nightshade is falling to low HP. Herman is actually being used up there. Yeah, there you go. The bot side is definitely being pressured on by the side of Team Rocket
Yeah, and the big issue
Academy.
with that fight was that not only is Soul Breeze a max passive stacks, holy shit. He's also sitting on Conk as well. And the best way that Tristana can play through this matchup is using that uh using what rune set is that? The bloody Hail of Blades. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm just tumbling over my words right now. Using that Hail of Blades alongside with the Alistair combo to get quick, fast trades that should hopefully push Soul Breeze out of lane. But they extend the trades too long. Soul Breeze hits Conk stack, gets that passive up, then they try and continue the fight when those things are still up. So yeah, and it just doesn't play out in their favor because not only is Herman not able to find the damage, they get out traded really easily, and this is going to be first straight going for Impress.
Yeah, finally the lane prior is actually in the favor of Team Rocket right here with 2 kills. It looks like Impress finally gets the first Drake, and it's not going to be a win Drake. At least there's that, right? The gold lead is looking in the favor right now, of course, for Team Rocket Academy. But I'm just happy that Papa Sexy has finally managed to get his wave off, right? Because he's finally doing something. He's finally being allowed, really, to CS over there.
Yeah, I
And
mean, big CS deficit coming in Papa Sexy at the same time. I think fantastic adaptation from NBS here. Opts to go not only for that tier first, but also picks up the cult. This is a really big purchase into the Autumn because Autumn's not really going to be able to punish this properly. You know, Veigar not really exactly known for its early game prowess. Fantastic way to take advantage of that is through this kind of itemization.
oh, already first tower play going on by Herman with his Q usage being very well put there. Soul Breeze just decides, you know what, I'm not gonna take this fight. They can take me down on the turret, even if I kill trade right here, right? It's not worth it. I'm gonna get killed again, and I'm just gonna leave them fed. But it looks like Veigar's TP is being forced out just for that CS lead a bit because it's looking pretty bad. And another fight is going down to the bot side as Galio is being pushing on through. Nightshade falling down to low HP, but Power Fruit is looking at the same table. Look at that Herman already with a Q. He gets him. Power Fruit gets taken down by actual Nightshade, not Herman. So that's pretty bad right there. Soulbreeze gets his first kill onto Nightshade actually, and the good gank coming in from both NBS and Corky, MBS and Impress right there. Oh no, poor Papa is Sexy right here onto the top side. He's falling down to low HP, but he's gone under turret. He has the means available to keep alive over here. Just doesn't have to push this. You just don't have to stay there. You have to go back. Because
I
both of
think
those
he can
guys
chill, honestly. I don't think they can kill him. Even the Call of the Forge God is used. There's nothing really left to chase him down. I think he's going to try and respect it anyway. But this is the kind of worst place you want to hover. Either you're strictly under your tower or you're resetting. I think hovering there is really dangerous because it can lead to you getting dived without actually getting dove, you know?
I love
Either
that
way,
random true shot barrage coming in from the Ezreal onto the bot side. He was like,
absolutely.
I'll definitely help.
Don't worry, I'll give you some way clear. Anyway, in the meantime, looks like Jumba's going to try and walk into this red buff. Does get spotted up by Power Fruit. I think the big rotation here, right, by Power Fruit. You want to see him walking in tangent with Impress, especially in this early game, because once the Alistair and Jumba get online, they're the ones who are going to be walking around the map and trying to find picks to play off in this mid game. So being able to abuse that Galio pre-6 as much as possible is going to be really important.
I'm feeling really bad right now for Autumn. He's playing his best right now on that Veigar, but he just can't get any damage done. Corky is just outscaling him so bad. At least here in the early game, he's not looking pretty good.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
and
this is
he
the
even got the blue.
issue. This is the issue with the pick because it doesn't have the early game pressure, like even a Corki would have, but it also generally doesn't really scale too well into the comp they've drafted it into. I really don't rate the Veigar. I think it's going to really limit Autumn, who was a standout from game one, to do stuff properly.
Indeed, that is. But the gold lead does speak for itself right here, and the bot side is actually the one with the most action coming in, which is different from last game. As I told you, it seems like VG right here, Verax Gold, are deciding, you know what, we played very aggressively last time, it paid off, and right here we can just look how it plays out. We can just go with the flow and see how everything's gonna go.
And clearly it
Because
hasn't paid off well, right? Because their
yeah,
bot lane was meant to be their winning asset in this early game. They were meant to be playing through Tristan Anser to create a gold lead onto what I would class as essentially as quite a defensive bot lane in the Ezreal Galio, because they're waiting really for level 6 spikes and for itemization, especially from that Ezreal, right? In return, that over-aggressiveness has put Soulbreeze in a really fantastic spot to hit that Divine Sundra early. There's a bit of trading
ooh, the
happening on the top
beautiful
side.
W and R coming in from Tom Kench. Actually, another fight is going on to the bot side, and it seems like the direct counter just doesn't know where to look. Because, yeah, look at that. Tristana Herman is playing so aggressive right here on the Corki. He's used up his flash. He's used up his heal as well just to save him. And look at that. Stinger, 1 HP. Papa Sexy gets taken down by being a bit too greedy, and Volibear can't do anything about that. Power for falling down to full HP. And the True Shot Barrage doesn't hit anything, sadly.
Yeah, big mistake from Sexy there to overpraise Pleasure at the same time as NBS is rotating downward to kind of play through that lane. I think he needs to understand his goals in this lane. Once he gets to a point where he has kill threat like he had there, abuse that to create CS advantage. You want to be playing aptly to the pressure that you have at the time. If your jungler isn't around, or you know that Jumba's going to be hovering there, you don't want to be doing this kind of overextension, especially when you don't really have the numbers to back it up.
Yeah, but
And
you
in
have to
turn,
remember,
running really
Zinzao
well
does have a Herald, and he could drop it onto the top side. Or the bot side even, to just apply some pressure, and oh, look at that. That's the most poke he can do, Autumn,
Oh.
even with an ultimate. Tencent doesn't go down easily, and the right call here would just be to recall, but he has a Gully ultimate, right? He looks for it, maybe, as Nightshade is taking out some vision onto the Drake. Another Earth Drake, so we won't have a Wind, we won't have an Earth Drake, so this is definitely going to be an exciting game, looking on over at either an Infernal or an Ocean.
Oh, big punish maybe onto Nightshade though.
Oh no, poor Nightshade. He's probably not used to that W from Papa Sexy. Not many people are though. Nobody's really played that much time Kenshin the ladder or the scrims right here. I don't believe so. The Gali ultimate goes into Jumba, who's getting big pressure down, just because he decided, you know what, I might get a kill, I might not, and that he did not. 7-2 lead coming in right here for Team Rocket Academy.
Yeah, fantastic play from Roccet, especially from Soulbreeze and Powerfruit to pick up that kill onto Ali early. That really enables them to see, okay, well, if anybody's overstepping, we really have no CC to fear from, right? There's the Veigar cage, and that's about it. Especially if Ornn is on top side, there's really nothing to stop them from just walking up and damage threat. And that's exactly what they do. They end up picking up a second kill, they get Drake for free, and look, they can just walk into this boss side. They don't care.
That they can, and it seems like the red is being fought on over as Tristan is doing a lot of damage, but there's the Corki doing even more as Nightshade falls to HP. Will he be taken out? No, Jumba's actually there to save him, as Soulbreeze doesn't have his true shot barrier, so he's not going to be able to get a cheeky kill off of that. I was about to laugh a bit at the fact that just Veigar is getting punished in turret by Kirky's R. He's being taken out so hard over there, and Stringer getting so many turret shots. Oh my god!
Oh, fantastic ulti usage.
He does get out, but oh, will the W be traded out? Will he be able to get the kill? The Call to Forge is being used right now by Stringer to just get away. He wants to stay alive, but I don't think he'll manage it. He falls down to low HP, and he's won. Yeah, he doesn't have any way out of this. He's always way too far ahead.
Yeah,
Papa Sexy with another kill.
What a fantastic punish though, because the thing is, why do people build Bramble in tank matchups? I will never understand this. By buying that Bramble, it means he can't ever walk up and get plate pressure alongside with that Army Cinders as well. Literally can't do anything to kind of get those turret plates for free. Oh, Papa Sexy gets caught.
Jumba is gonna get the kill onto Papa Sexy right here. And
okay, burns the crescent card for the kill. I guess you don't need to do that. What a bit of a waste of ulti tempo, but you know what? It's fine. We're chilling. At the same time, gets a trade kill. I think, yeah. So the same thing happens as before. Papa Sexy gets a kill. Really important kind of punish he wants to be looking for, because he does have that CS deficit right now. But over aggression means end up trading instead. Just not the best thing you want to see. Oh.
Yeah, Jumba, can he get out here? Yes, he can with the help of Autumn right here. Oh, will they play this aggressively? There's an Ornn coming up as well, and even Nightshade. It looks like everyone's taking a team fight over here as everybody's focusing on Ensign right here. And yes, they do. They take him out. Autumn finally with a kill. The Volibear ultimate actually doesn't do much. He's gonna get taken out as well. No, the flash actually saves him, even though there was an exhaust over there. He's fallen down to low HP, and I don't know why he's so greedy. He actually got killed by his greediness, and over there, Veigar with a second kill. Will they let Veigar actually just pop off and regroup? It's a 8-5 lead there, and VGA played that perfectly, I think.
And just weird skirmishing coming out. I mean, like you should know who's your strongest member on the team. Who's the only one who has a mythic build right now? Why would you not play through that? In return, that over-aggressive skirmishing gets punished. They get 2 kills given away back onto Verax Gold, and mid tower gets unlocked, which is going to be really big for enabling some vision setup to play through what is essentially a pick comp.
Not only that, right, but now VG, Verax Gold, have a bit of leeway towards the objectives, right? They can start thinking, you know, maybe we can do another Herald, maybe we can take over the fight into the Drake. We have a chance of winning this, and the gold lead is not looking that bad either.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, gold's pretty even at the moment. If we do have a quick check, you'll see that most of that is on the Ezreal. In fact, looking at the top lane and the jungle, we can see that actually, for Verax Gold, they've got jungle and top lane lead in terms of gold right now. The big carry threat right now is on that Ezreal, who's 1.6k ahead of Herman there. So Soulbreeze has got a lot of pressure on his back to really pick up some pressure. I think the big way they could best utilize that, rotate your laners out, move NBS into bot side, and put Soulbreeze in mid lane. Then Alistair can more freely roam between mid and other lanes and impact those. And then alongside that, hopefully NBS can use that TP more effectively.
That is true, but as we're looking on towards the VG side over here, they're not really playing this as they should, you know, everybody's playing together as they just leave top open, you know, there's just like one more hit on that top turret so that you can enable that to be like a bit of a priority for, you know, the objective onto the top side, and it looks like they're gonna take this Drake fight over here.
Yeah, and I find it interesting that these teams, it's the same thing happened last game, right? Why are they coin flipping for third Drake? There's no real reason why they should be winning these fights right now, other than the fact that they've got a
Oh,
decent
Power
head
Fruit already being
oh,
taken down a bit by Jumba with a great W over there. He's being forced to heal as well.
and perfectly timed for the Drake too. So we talked about it, but does find a pick onto Power Fruit. Hopefully, I wish Power Fruit would just reset and then use that Guardian's Descent to, or was it Hero's Entrance? Sorry, Hero's Entrance to jump into this fight later, because he's half HP now. What impact is he going to have on being in frontline for this Ezreal? Not much.
Yeah, but it looks like he might actually make it out of here because, oh, the huge Alistar ultimate right here with the Orange Skull, the Forge. Volibear can't do anything against that. Even the Hero's Entrance coming in from Power Fruit doesn't help him much as 2 kills go by. The third one from Power Sexy gets taken out himself. And look at that. Herman is trying to get the kill onto Soulbreeze, but he doesn't manage it. Even a flash being used by Stringer over here. They're overextending it here a bit. And can Soulbreeze actually get a few kills over here?
He's going to be really careful with how he plays it, though. Yep, decides to walk away. Fair enough. And the big thing there was that flash Alistair engage alongside with the Call of the Forge God to get a really, really tight damage grouping onto NBS, Papa Sexy, and Impress. It wins in the fight, basically solo. And part of the reason for that is, again, they weren't able to establish themselves onto the Drake at the start because Power Fruit fell so low. Impressive Papa Sexy, the only people who can walk up, but they lack the kind of easy engage options that Galio can do. So just end up getting punished.
Oh, is Stinger gonna get punished here? I just want to say, this feels so weird. Division 3, what are you? Like, we saw a 7-2 lead coming in from Roccet Academy, right? That was huge. You think that was the end of the game, right? But now we're seeing a 9-9? What happened?
I mean, the big thing is that kind of Autumn's getting to play the game that he wants for free. Oh, please don't have your... Okay, reset doesn't get reset. Yeah, so Autumn's kind of getting to play the game that he wants to play alongside with Jumbo, right? They've got fights where they're able to freely walk up and engage through their own tools, which is really not where you want to be. You want to have Soulbreeze and MBS set up a fight beforehand where HP's already been burnt through key members like Jumba, Herman, Autumn. If Soulbreeze and NBS can create kind of those HP deficits before a fight starts, then they're freely able to fight however they want. And with Soulbreeze being in such a good game state right now that Tears, already fully stacked on the Divine Sundra, the first out of every other player in the game. They should have been set up for that, but they end up falling behind, especially on this top side, and they're suffering for it.
That is very, very true. As another just, you know, split pushing right here is pretty important. It looks like Quirky is, actually, no, Veigar is going to deny NBS's split pushing, and as Papa Strand Stringer just go at it for CS. 20 minutes, no, 19 minutes in. The mid is really, really open right here for Roccet. They have to do something about that. They have to just at least try for that Herald, or there might just be a minute left and there's no point, right?
Well, you see, actually, their combo's pretty good at sieging, right? They've got the Corki and the Ezreal available. I don't know why they aren't looking to rotate, like, set up a side wave so they can maybe unlock one of these side towers, especially with the Corki having that TP available. They got double TP on the game. Abuse the
Oh.
fact that you set up this comp that can dive so easily, set up a side tower so that you can start to create some wave push, and then play through mid lane with that. Instead, what they're doing is they're just playing through lanes as usual, and it's really not setting themselves up for an advantageous mid game.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the Manamune build for Ezreal a bit of an old build that used to work in previous patches?
People still do it on Sundra.
Ah, okay.
You do Mirror Mana plus a Divine Sundra. It's a fight. They're just gonna ignore the fight happening in top lane. It's tank versus tank. I think that's
Yeah, it is tank versus tank, but oh, there you go. Impress actually saving Papa Sexy right there. Even an ultimate being used to trade out that Call of the Forge. Stringer again.
I really hate the use of the Call of the Forge God here. He did it last time he got solo killed as well. And what it does is if they want to fight immediately afterwards, Stringer's not going to want to TP into a fight because he won't have the Call of the Forge God available to enable fights. So it really slows down their game plan.
Not only that, but the soul kill on the top here enables another turret to go down, and when you enable another turret to go down, that just means that there's less pressure for your team to be able to play around the lanes that you want, right? You're not going to be able to prio mid lane right here, and instead you're going to have to look towards actually getting fights, maybe into the jungle, maybe into the Herald, which is pretty possible right here, seeing as, everybody's resetting, everybody's looking towards the next fight that's going to go down. And that looks to be the closest objective that there is. Maybe they're gonna wait for Drake though.
We won't see a Baron. No, I'm gonna say we won't see a Baron. The only Baron, I mean, like, Roccet actually have a really good 20-minute Baron. The only issue is obviously they don't really have the pro at the moment to be able to do that kind of thing. I think we're gonna be waiting for next Drake. And the fact that it's an Ocean Drake is really, really interesting because both of these team fights, so far that we've seen anyway, have been quite elongated. They haven't been super bursty because both teams are sitting on a fair few tanks. Obviously, Ocean Drake, I think, ultimately benefits Roccet more. They want to have more extended fights. So getting that Ocean Drake on, getting that Ocean Soul on their team, I think would be really important to enable kind of these mid-game fights to be most successful for that Ezreal and that Corki.
I was about to say that I really don't like how they're playing this. They signaled that there's a Drake in like 46 seconds, and they started setting up for it at 40 seconds. You have so much time to just side CS or just get something done in those 40 seconds while you wait, because sure, you may be setting up for a fight, but the fight's gonna go down in a few seconds, right? You have time.
With these towers gone in side lane and in mid, you can actually, I think you can do a setup this early, and especially getting that vision is going to be really important. As you can see now, they have complete vision control. Not only do Nightshade and the rest of his team have no idea where everybody's actually sitting, they don't have any vision on the Drake, and they won't, so they have to do stuff like this.
Another good call, the Forge going on there.
No.
Alistar Q actually is pretty huge as the Galio ultimate goes in. Papa Sky's going down to low HP. He's gonna force out the flash over there. Herman's looking for the kill, even though he's exhausted. Power Fruit goes down along with the trade onto Veigar. NBS then actually falls down to low HP, but a great flash actually manages him to get away. Oh no, but he's greedy. He's gonna get taken out by June. But why is everybody so greedy? Impressed gets the kill out actually onto Herman. And will they be able to get out those two tanks? But the Drake is already lost.
And you can see the essence of what their com wants to do, even with the pick onto Soulbreeze. Really poorly played from Soulbreeze. Sorry to call you out, man. You got both suns available. He has that Arcane Shift available. Still ends up getting caught by the Call of the Forge God, which turns into the Alistar Headbutt Pulverize combo. And he gets deleted from the fight before it even starts. And even through that, they were able to kill trade really effectively. So you're seeing this comp kind of come together. I think you just want to see Soulbreeze playing these fights better. If he's at a point where he can get his passive stacked and start queuing repeatedly onto these targets, he's going to be a really big force to kind of slow down Nightshade and Stringer to have these fights correctly. But
What I
well
think
played from Atm or from Autumn even to get that pick onto Soul Breeze alongside with Stringer. I think, yeah, really good
hmm,
CC Kane. Fantastically played.
what I really don't like from the side of Rocket Academy right here is that they're playing this so greedy. Like, stop being greedy. You could have won, not won necessarily, but you could have you know, capitalized on so many fights if you just decided to pull back. You know, you got the kill. You don't have to go for another one. The fight's already won by you. Just reset and go again.
Big pivot now for Rocket. We'll definitely be looking towards sieging this mid. You know, 2 Drakes onto Verax Gold is going to be, especially Stringer, hopefully should have a lot more space in this side lane to start to duel Papa Sexy, even with the itemization differences. He's
Oh,
not gonna
Impress
miss
on the
fight,
gank on the
though.
top. Actually, the ultimate was used by Papa Sexy, and the W even goes through. He's trying to punish this hard. Impress, though, doesn't know what to do and decides to go back. The Call of the Forge is used right here. Maybe they get a kill on Papa Sexy. Maybe they get 2 on Impress as well. But no, he actually gets his W cancelled out by the Tristana ultimate. And there you go. He gets taken out by Herman, actually.
One
Interesting
of these
choice who to leave the kill
GPs.
for. But another, oh, big burst coming down from Autumn, taking down NBS. Even though he gets kill traded by the Galio goes down as well, and a lot of trades just go on and on and on as Stringer as well. Will he be able to manage to get out of this? Yes, he will. Soul Breeze falling down to low HP, gets taken out by Jumba, and into the tower he goes. Impress, try to stay alive, but he doesn't manage it. And oh my god, the ace coming down from Verax Gold. That was such a turnaround.
And here's where the issue of target selection becomes it gets brought to the forefront, right? Because like they're burning these tools onto Stringer to try and get a pick, but this isn't the lane you want to affect anymore. You're not playing through the right champions. In return, fantastic turnaround by Call of the Forge God from Stringer to pick up Papa Sexy early, which then spreads out tanks from NBS and Soul Breeze, so they can't really do effective fighting anymore because they don't have the front line to be able to DPS out, get caught repeatedly, extended fight happens, they get the ace, and now it's going to be turning into a Baron.
If I was Soul Breeze here, I would have immediately, as I got respawn, just shot that True Shot barrage, just to try, you know?
Yeah, maybe
Well,
holding on to that. You can see here now the Ezreal getting onto that 3rd key item in this build path, going to be heading towards that Frozen Heart, and I think honestly, even with the deficit they're in right now, that 4K deficit alongside that Baron being taken, they're still pretty much in the game because they have this double AD carry scaling, and this Ezreal build stays so strong for so long. And once that Frozen Heart is bought, it's been really hard for Jumba and Herman to do what they were doing before, which is just blindly jump in onto that Ezreal and go straight for the kill, because he's going to get the armor upgrade and hopefully slow down these fights enough to start deeping a little bit more.
yeah, but you have to remember, the quirky burst damage as well, if he's left unchecked, it's pretty game-changing, right? Because he's not really being focused as much as Soul Breeze is, and yeah, look at that, Power Food just not giving 2 dams, he's recalling in front of the enemy, but it's only Nightshade, what can he do alone, right? I mean, yeah, again, if Verax Gold actually just focused down NBS and Soul Breeze first, then it's game 1. Right?
Yeah, I think a
It's
big thing now as
17-13.
well is that, you know, Herman kind of suffered in this early game, but just like last game, he's on 2 items now. He's really starting to hit a point in his game plan where, especially once IE is unlocked, you can see all 3 components of IE have been bought. He's only 600 gold away from that item being finished. Once he's on that item, suddenly the damage threat from Trist grows exponentially. So I'm really excited to see how strong he's going to get in these fights now, because really the big threats right now it's the Sunderer on the Zinzao on Jumba, and Autumn getting some really fantastic cages. So once Herman's on those items, how will he affect these fights?
Well, we're about to see, right? Because the team fight is being set up over here, and I don't really understand why they maybe just want to drive team fight over here, because you know
I mean, it's just Drake spawning, right?
I didn't see that. Yes, that is
Yeah.
true. They're fighting on for the Drake Prior over here, but
Fantastic options here to set up for the Prior. I'll call it the Forge God button though.
oh, the Call of the Forge actually didn't get anyone. But, oh, MBS over with a good stopwatch over there. Power Fruit falling down to low HP. He gets taken out. He gets pushed down by Autumn, who gets a double kill onto the Volibear as well. That's so much damage. And it looks like Stringer is going to get taken out here by the Ezreal, his team isn't coming to help. He's being left out for the turret prio.
Yeah.
Oh, Herman, 1 HP. Actually, he's gonna get taken down
Oh.
by Soul Breeze right there with a good arcane shift. It looks like the shutdown will be worth it as he maybe gets out. No, he doesn't. Jumba finds the kill onto him, and Jumba is popping off right now. No, we're not really talking about his kill lead. He's
Yeah, I mean,
6-1-10.
he's kind of sitting there, just kind of playing these fights, and that's because he's not really starting the fights, right? So you don't really see the effect he's having on these fights. But every single time a fight is started through that Call of the Forge God, his Tiger selection is correct. He's on the person he needs to be, and you can see there, just absolutely ruining Soul Breeze's game plan. And in return, he's got them 2 Drakes. He's going to be getting them a third, and they're looking at Soul Point now at 29 minutes.
Indeed, they are. But look at that. Oh, the TP actually going down over
Oh.
from Stringer. This is going to be a fight for the Drake, but he's not going to get it right. Oh, no, there you go. Jumba being faster on the smite. It's another trade right here. A lot of damage coming on through, and actually Nightsheet going down. A lot of damage going on through it. Seems like Autumn doesn't have any way out of this with Jumba trying to get the kill onto Power Fruit. Will he get it? Yes, he does. And will he be able to, will he manage to get the kill also onto NBS before he dies? The Call of the Forge actually gets used. Why?
Kite, bro. Okay. Alright, NBS was a little bit scary there. Just standing still in auto attack instead of kiting, but they end up picking up the kill anyway. So, third trade gets traded away, but they pick up 3 kills in return. And the big thing is they get the shutdown from both Vega and Zinzao onto Corki and Volibear, respectively. So, suddenly items should be getting unlocked. And we talked about this multiple times. I'll mention it again. This comp scales pretty well. They are up against Trist. Vega, which especially once Vega gets that void staff, suddenly his fight plan is going to be changing pretty consistently, and Trist late game is pretty much unparalleled in terms of raw damage output. Big thing to be noting here, Anathena's Chains has once again been bought by Papa Sexy. Again, I'm assuming it's marked onto Herman, so we're going to see how much that actually it's been bought from by both tanks now. I didn't even notice it. Going to be probably plonked onto whichever AD is dealing more damage to them in these fights, just to reduce that potential threat.
I do want to say, you say that, you know, the Tristana late game is pretty unparalleled in raw damage, but you have to remember they're fighting up against an Ezreal. An Ezreal who had a pretty good lead early game, right? And when you think about that, you think, okay, this is just going to be a battle of who can get the first ADC, right? Because if you get the first ADC, then the rest of the damage is going to be basically up to the mid laner. And if it's up to the mid laner, burst damage isn't really going to do much. You know, you might take 1 out, yeah, maybe even 2. But if you don't get a good combo, you know, with the Ollie Star and the good Call of the Forge, you're pretty much out of the game.
I am interested to see where this core field is going to from the Ezreal. If he does opt into the Death Stance, I think it's going to be a really useful tool to maximize his potential damage output in these fights. At the same time, IE has been unlocked by Herman, and Ornn's passive has been placed both onto Tristana's Mythic, so she's now got the One Fallen Sacrifice, and he's just upgrading Autumn's now as well. So that Ludens is gonna. Oh no, he put it onto. Yeah, he put it onto the Zinzao there. So that Mythic's been upgraded as well. Papa Sexy.
Oh, the Call of the Forge actually going on by. It looks like there's a lot of damage going on to the Papa Sexy. He's gotten cancelled again. He's not getting out. The ultimate from Autumn actually gets cancelled out because the kill goes on over to Ollie Star. Powerful gets taken out as well with the trade onto the Ore, and it seems like everybody's trying to get away. NBS, can you kill Autumn? No, you cannot. You should just run away. Jumba, with the damage coming in from the back, it looks like he may be able to do something. Herman actually doing a lot of damage, taking out the GA from NBS as he gets traded out by Soul Breeze. Oh, Soul Breeze has so many options right here.
He's actually just pulling it out of his ass here. NBS there playing really scared, and I think if he was looking for DPS there, may have been able to pick out Jumba there as well. But Soul Breeze is playing for his life right now. The front line in front of him is so big, and you can see he's really struggling, even with his Sundra, to burn through that Ornn quick enough. But in return, they actually get a fight that's generally in their favor. 2 kills for 3, get the pressure onto mid as well, and this might end up being Baron.
This might end up being bad, but you have to remember Jumba is still alive. He can still try and attempt to steal it. And if he manages that, then it's pretty much game over, right? 1 more team fight and you've got Baron. If you got Baron, you can just push all the way to well.
Yeah. Jumba just clearing some vision here, playing a little bit tentatively, trying to see if he can find an opportunity. Was that actual package star? I think it was that his...
Yes, it was indeed. And the Call of the Forge actually gets used up and cancelled out.
Torn.
Yeah, look at that. Actually, the Tom Kench kind of saves Stringer a bit, but not for long. as he goes down, and Jumba is being pretty kited right. He's trying to kite right here, but nobody's taking the bait. It looks like everybody's just gonna back down and recall, reset. What do you think? What do you think? 23 to 22. The gold lead starts to come back up again. In evenness, I mean, everybody's coming back to be quite even, and mid is being opened up, which is
Yeah, I really
interesting.
like this tower being knocked down. Finally, hopefully, Power Fruit and Impress can kind of create some vision at all. To be honest, their vision has been consistently knocked down by Jumba and the rest of his team. So being able to create some consistent vision for this third Drake spawn is going to be really important, especially because this is Soul Point for Verax Gold. This is the dragon that they want to
This
unlock
is
the game
the
for them.
fight that
Yeah,
they need to watch
exactly.
out for.
But this is, and suddenly, Corki and Soulbreeze have become threats in these fights. So it's really important for Herman and Autumn to really pick up the kind of pressure that Soulbreeze and MBS have already done, and actually perform in these fights, because this is the kind of fight.
That was so fast. So much burst damage going on to the Drake, and Jumba trying to get the kill onto the Drake gets killed himself.
And that's the power of double AD carry. They've got 2 ADCs. They've hit their 3 items each. I mean, you can see Ezreal's actually picked up, finally, the Seralda's Grudge as well, which is going to be such a fantastic tool, not only for creating maximum effectiveness for buff, right? Doesn't need to pick up the blue, doesn't need to pick up the red anymore. So both of those can go onto NBS, so he can maximize his value in these fights. But also, that consistent slow is going to be so important for kiting out Jumba and Stringer, as well as, actually using what the item's intended purpose is, which is shredding tanks.
That is true, and it looks really, really good again for Team Rocket Academy. As Nightshade is going in, he's low HP, he's trying to get out, the Golly ultimate goes in, and also the Volleyball ultimate is being used up here. He's low HP, everybody's low HP, they're trying to get out, but they don't know what to do. Herman actually, MBS using his ultimate again with his flash, getting a triple kill, and the whole conundrum of just ultimates being used up. They're trying to take out tower, but they're low HP, all of them. Jumba can get so many kills here if he's playing it right, and yes, he does. Soulbreeze is getting taken out. Impress. Yes, he is. Oh, look at that. The ultimate goes out, and 1 kill, 2 kill, 3 kills goes out for him. He doesn't get the quad, but he does find a pretty good trade for everything that happened. At the end of the
every
day.
player knocked out. You've got 10 seconds in the nearest timer. This is probably game here. What a fantastic turnaround from NBS and Soulbreeze. That this itemization has been so crutch has been so crutch in being able to find these kinds of fights. And you could see there, finally, Soulbreeze and NBS are actually DPSing these tanks that are jumping in front of them. You can see Nightshade is going to play desperately for this here, but they should just ignore him.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Papa Sexy's being forced out to use Splash.
Why are they walking away? Okay. Maybe the win wasn't here. Maybe I'm overseeing it. I feel like the dub could have been there if there had been a little bit less hesitation. But they're just going to take the inhib for now. Nexus turret to down as well, which is a fantastic opportunity for just creating a lot of pressure, right? I really wish they dropped a ward in as they were walking out there. Papa Sexy had one available, and they can really threaten either an early red trinket like we're seeing here. So Nightshade does end up popping that red trinket early, which means he's not going to have that for setting up vision later on if they decide to push out of the base, if that inhibitor resets. And alongside that, if they don't scan it properly, well, Papa Sexy can just TP in alongside with NBS and end the game.
Yeah, it looks like, I don't know from which side, but there is a jungle internet issue right here.
Oh, let me press. How do you enter chat? It's Impress.
Okay, yeah, Impress right here is having a bit of internet connectivity issues, but as that gives us a bit of time to think, right? It gives both of the teams some time to think, and it also gives us the casters to kind of get an idea of what's gonna go down here. Do you think Verax Gold are gonna be able to come back from this? They left the wall
here's
open.
the thing, right? Lord Doms and Void Staff have both been completed on Herman and Autumn respectively. This was the kind of this is where the fight options for Soulbreeze really began, and how these fights turned around was the unlock of that grudge to DPS these fights. Now in return, Triss is on the items now. Autumn's on the items available to burn through Impress, Papa Sexy, and Power Fruit respectively. Maybe they can kill those tanks now quicker than the Ezreal and NBS can shred through Stringer's Ornn and Nightshade's Alistair.
But you have to remember, there's a 670 CS difference between the mid laners over here. And Quirky, you know, he might be a bit of an underdog. NBS has been doing the damage in the lower brackets. So, you know, right here on the last fight, he actually got a triple kill, which was huge. But honestly, before the last triple kill popped up, I didn't even see him actually getting those kills. I thought it was his teammates because they were frontlining for him. Now that there is such a big kill and CS difference for him, it can enable his whole team to just kind of press onto his back and decide, you know what, we're gonna have one clean fight and we're gonna all prioritize keeping the Corki alive, and then it's an instant win. It's a guaranteed win, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I just want to see Autumn really start to DPS these fights. I think he's been I don't know. I keep saying about the champion, right? But maybe there just aren't 5 points that are going well for him. I think in that last fight, the big thing was he got a fantastic cage, which slowed down Soulbreeze and NBS from being able to escape the call of the Forge God, which then in turn led to the kill trace that Jumba ended up picking up.
What I think
So
is gonna be decisive over here. I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off, but the last streak is gonna pop up right here, right? And the soul is gonna be really, really important for Verax if they want to come back here.
I'd be surprised if this game gets to Ancient Soul. What's it called? The game's broken. Have I DP'd?
Ah,
Or is that have they
no,
got
the game
Paladin?
is broken.
Okay, well, that's
Hmm.
because I get to blame players here. They didn't sit in. They all must have left post game lobby, which means that the game gets deloaded, which is quite unfortunate.
Ah.
So we'll be right back with you to find out who. Oh no, it's
Oh,
playing.
game is back. Game is back.
Okay, it must have just been a bug. Maybe with pause, it had an issue. Yep. Should we pause at
Yeah, we'll get
3:55?
a we'll get a 3:55 pause and we'll come back and tell you guys if everything
Cool.
is fine.
We're just gonna have a quick countdown, guys. Then we'll be heading straight back into game.
Yes.
Yep.
Looks like we're back. Okay, nothing happened. We're all fine. We're continuing the game, and as I said before, Drake's coming up.
Yeah, and I think honestly, I'd be surprised to see if this game does go to the dragon, because I mean, wouldn't you foresee a fight in the mid lane right now? I think both teams seem pretty eager to fight. We've seen that so far. I mean, 26 to 28 kills in a 37-minute game is very skirmishy. But on top of that, it seems like maybe, especially with the Triss being on the Lord Doms, must be a big factor for why they feel so happy to run up this lane right now.
I'm glad Verax have decided not to fight this, because even if you got a few kills in the mid lane, in the mid lane right here, it wouldn't have gone towards you actually being able to finally push towards the Nexus and get that last push that you need. Just play for objectives here, play passively. That's your, I think, in my opinion, that's your get out of jail free card, right?
Yeah, definitely a good job from Team Rocket to just chill. They have the advantage right now. You know, they've got that inhibitor unlocked. All they got to do now is really wait for that soul point. You know, especially
Oh.
setting up this mid wave is going to be really important, I think.
Seems like the fight is starting to brew up with the with the pings that we're seeing on the map right here coming
Void
up.
stuff picked out from Corki is fantastic. I love seeing this kind of itemization. This is what we want. We want tank killing items. Corki's full build. Ezreal's almost full build. These fights are going to be
They're
really,
getting
really
level
fun.
18s. I don't want to believe it. Was Impress playing that big brain? Was he actually going into the enemy jungle and showing himself just to kind of pressure them off and lay the dragon from having that much for
Well, the
Verax?
scary thing is now, though, is that they get to walk in as a 5 unit. And look, this reset's coming out. The Impress isn't in position, so Nightshade gets to freely engage onto Power Fruit.
You say that, but right now everybody from Verax is kind of staggered onto the mid lane. They're not expecting the fight to actually brew up this early and this easily, it looks like, because Nightshade is waiting for confirmation on his teammates to go in, and it doesn't seem like he's getting it.
So, yeah, just a little bit of stancing. Dragon spawning under 15 seconds now. This is going to be really
it's
clutch
going
because...
used early right here. Will it be able to get 4 people? That's pretty huge. No follow-up though. No big follow-up, I mean. MBS really manages to get out, and Nightshade falls to very, very low HP. Will he be able to get taken out by the Galileo Q? No, he doesn't, but the True Shot Barrage misses him just by a bit. And now Verax is looking pretty bad. They have to fall back. They have to reset, give up the Drake. And oh no, look at base. Corki right now pushing along with Tom Kinch. They're taking down the base. Nobody's looking at it. Is
And
this the end?
this is the exact kind of thing we were talking about. They use the double
Oh
TP, they
no.
burn the Nexus, and they pick up the dub. Okay. That's the kind
Oh.
of game we want to see. It doesn't matter that they don't win the fight. That base is unlocked, and that's the exact kind of punish you want to see. Really good ward placements, I think, from Impress or Power Fruit there to be able to set up for that kind of backdoor. What a what a clutch.
That was a definite clutch coming in from NBS and Papa Sexy. Wow. Team Rocket coming back at it. I'm speechless.
Yeah, and
I think
I mean that leads into game 3, which is fantastic. This is the kind of thing we want to see. So obviously we saw both drafts kind of struggle there in terms of what they wanted. It seemed like the game was in Verax's hand for the majority of that. Soulbreeze and NBS started to turn it around. They managed to unlock that blind Nexus, and in return, even though they don't win the fight, they pick up the game. Wow, just yeah, wow. Okay.
that is a big wow. I think, well, before we go off into the applause, I'd just like to say that, guys, remember, we do have a sponsor, True Haven Esports Academy. They help you out a lot. You know, we have some examples here in the Discord server, I think, that have gone off like 6 or 7 ranks up just from like 15 pounds. So it's definitely worth it. And with that, I think we're gonna go into a quick pause as everybody's getting ready, and we'll be right back. And we are back. Okay, third match of tonight. Whew. These two matches have been quite interesting.
Yeah,
I
very
will have
skirmish heavy, right? We've seen a lot of fighting between these teams. And I guess it's quite entertaining, or it should be entertaining to watch anyway, even if it maybe doesn't particularly go to the plan of the actual comp that we see.
yeah, well, I will have to apologize to you guys watching. There might have been a slight time delay on my part. I apologize. But going on down, it's all gonna be fine. And I think everyone's ready to kind of start on and see, excuse me, what's gonna go down here. Do you think we're gonna see other new champions, or are we still gonna see the Orn top side? Are we still gonna see like the the bot side on the Ezreal that played really
I
well? Maybe
mean,
we'll a
the big
Nocturne again.
yeah, exactly. That's the big one, right? Nocturne. So, are Stringer and the rest of his team going to decide, is Verax Gold going to decide to ban the Nocturne away now that the not blue side B1? Will it be respected more in this draft? What about the Ezreal? I think Soul Breeze looked really good on it that game, even if it
Mhm.
wasn't necessarily solo winning them the game, especially because some big mistakes are being made both by Soul Breeze and the rest of his team. Is there going to be more priority on that? And then on top of that, there's other stuff that we haven't even talked about. Like, we mentioned briefly in game one the AP itemization, but that didn't really play a factor in this game. And what about other champions in top lane that are really doing well to abuse the Divine Sunderer? Stuff like Camille. How's Silas doing in all of this? Silas being a really big pick right now as well with the AP changes. So I think draft can go anyway. I want to see some picks pulled out that could be maybe meta leaning because I think a lot of them are actually really easy to pilot and really, really strong.
I'm really curious why these two teams are very, very scared of, especially the Fiddlesticks, the Malzahar, and the Shen. I've
These
seen it
are
banned multiple times.
definitely target bans. Jumba, definitely seeing play on it beforehand, and the Malzahar the same, being directed towards NB. Because if I think I respect the Malzahar ban, especially because I think if somebody is willing to play that, that kind of shows where their mindset's at, and I'd rather just get rid of it because playing into Malzahar can be incredibly frustrating.
Interesting ban denying Nightshade his Alistar.
And the Lucian finally taken away from NB, as well as the Shen taken away from Papa Sexy,
Oh,
and
look at
Nocturne
that.
not respected, and it gets taken away. So the big thing is, why didn't he get picked game one? And why are they picking it now? Because if it didn't get picked game one, then I would be assuming that they didn't realize or haven't played enough of it to realize how strong it is. So is somebody comfortable playing it now? Do they understand its strengths and its weaknesses? That's going to be the real play when we go into this game. But I do love seeing it because of obviously the triple flex is so good with that champion. You have
We're
no
seeing
idea where it's
Lulu
going.
again. I like the Lulu pick, it's interesting, and it also can be very optimized towards whatever ADC you play, because Lulu is really just team fight oriented
I
and
mean,
poke oriented at the early game as well.
the big thing is it does a fantastic job of dealing with the paranoia. Having the world growth along with polymorph can be a really easy ways to reduce the Nocturne's effective dive options.
I
Because nobody wants to jump into nobody wants to jump into a Lulu and get immediately polymorphed and die, right? At the same time, Lily is taken. I think this champion is kind of sleeper at the moment. People stopped playing her. I still think she's really good,
um
and I love seeing it.
Impress? Are you going for the E
This hub
jungle?
is such a bait. They're trolling us. Yeah, it's definitely our bait. And oh, okay, Samira taken.
Hmm. I was about to say I haven't seen Lilia played at all in any like splits or anything, and I'm really curious to see how he's gonna decide to play Lilia out. Because against the Malphite, against the Samira, and the Nocturne right here. Oh no! Don't pick the Jinx. You're fighting the Samira.
They also be maybe picking Jinx into Malphite as well.
Hmm.
Okay, these are options that they are taking. I'm not sure if they're the correct ones. I think picking Jinx into Malphite Nocturne, even with the Lulu, is quite scary. I think your fight options can be quite limited. It also suffers into Samira. So yeah, I mean, to be
Hmm.
fair, it does have a lot of space in the early game, and Samira does generally, where she's at space right now. Samira's once again looking really strong in the current meta. The big thing is how does she function into the Lulu and the Jinx, and can they pick up a support that really matches that? And I was going to mention that Leona. Leona does fantastically with Samira and really enables it to do what it wants. And taking that away, I think double support ban needs to be done. I think you need to get power through onto something a little bit less meta just to slow down that Samira in the mid game.
Yeah, I don't know what Nightshade is comfortable playing at though, because we've only seen his Alistar being played here, which was a really good pick. He's played it really, really well so far. But now that it's banned, he's gonna have to go to something else, and I don't know what that something else could be here.
I mean,
Maybe a Nautilus. But
yeah, I mean Thresh as well, right? Super strong at the moment, super
we're
meta.
talking about supports when you're already seeing Lulu.
Well, no. On the other side, doing
Yeah, yeah,
the Thresh with the Impress with Samira even. Yeah, obviously the Lulu's already been taken, so that's definitely going on to Nightshade. But for Power Fruit, Thresh is a really big one because I've only seen him on. He played Lulu game 1 and Alistair game 2, I think. So
yeah.
no, it was the Galio, right? Yeah.
It
Anyway, Sai
was
gets picked. Stringer ended up playing this game 1, and man, he was a big boy. He did a really fantastic job of slowing down Soul Breeze's Jinx in that first game. So
Don't tell
obviously
me.
opting to play through the Jinx once again, or to play through a kind of protect the carry comp, keep the Jinx in fights for us long enough to kind of get that, get excited and start fights correctly.
Soul Breeze is baiting us, isn't he? Yeah. Yeah, there you go. No, it
I
was picked
honestly, I rate the Talia. I think it's pretty good again. Like it
on
just
mid.
no, in jungle. You put the
Yeah.
Nocturne top on mid. I guess, yeah, mid.
Yeah, we're gonna see a Nautilus Samira combo on the bot side, which I really like.
It does a fantastic job of setting up the Samira to get max passive stacks. And on top of that, really plays through
Ooh, a Kali. A Kali with that execute for Nocturne right here to jump into the back line. It's gonna be interesting.
indeed. I'm kind of excited to see how NB does on this pick because that champion is she's
Nerf to
not
the
doing
ground.
particularly good right now in the meta. She's still considered a pick and pro play though, so it depends on how well she can upgrade the champion. Sydra's in the same state as well, where she's not particularly strong in solo queue at the moment. It's really dependent on how well you pilot that champion. So
Stringer, are you playing a Cinder top? uh, MBS. Yeah, I mean, Akali has just been nerfed to the ground. I used to love playing her, but now she's just like a mech pick at most, at best.
well, I think it does depend on how well you pilot her. Just like Irelia, just like the Akali, the Syndra, all of these picks are champions that they're sitting on that 46, 45% win rate right now, but it doesn't stop them from being overwhelmingly powerful if you are good enough to pilot those champions. So I'm excited to see this mid lane matchup with that in mind because these champions are really big pop-off champions if you can play them well.
That is true, but that's also the case for almost everyone onto the side of VG on to the side of Rocket Academy right here, right? Because you got a Samira, which scales amazingly. You got a Nocturne who's broken right now. You got a Malphite, AP Malphite, fucking broken. Especially the Nautilus, right? Just double R from these two means that if you get even two people in those two ultimates, your fight is basically won.
Yeah, I think the Akali does has a really good option in these fights because he doesn't have to die the Jinx as well. Has the Syndra option, has Lily option, and Lulu Nightshade might be so funneled on playing through the Jinx that she fails to forget like the AP carries on her team, and that can definitely enable Papa Sexy and Power Fruit to itemize into AD even with the heavy magic damage on that side if they're able to kill Autumn and Jibber early enough.
Verax is playing. They played this last game as well. They're playing for early game. That's at least the bot side is looking to play for the early game because after 6, it's gonna be very,
Like,
very hard to see.
Verax Jinx Lulu is definitely not. I mean, like they have some early game pro, right? But the Nautilus Samira is definitely going to have a lot of space in that matchup to kind of do what they want.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
well, I mean, Verax is on red side. Roccet
Well,
is blue
yeah,
side.
yeah. Verax is
Yeah,
red side right here. Verax has the Jinx and the Lulu, right?
yeah.
So they are the ones who are at a big disadvantage. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay.
Because
Sorry,
yeah,
I must have misheard you.
because I must have misspoken, but because Jinx and Lulu right here, they have to play pre-6 because they don't. If they don't play pre-6 right here, and they don't get at least like the first kill onto maybe Nautilus even, they won't have that gold lead to start them off and kind of fight off the Samira, who can just block off so much stuff.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see, especially because Samira has so many different things she can block off. You can block Polymorph, you can block Syndra ulti, you can block Lilia sleep.
Mhm.
there's a lot of projectiles which she can, if she uses it correctly, she can really turn around a fight. So there's a lot of pressure on Soulbreeze to play it correctly. I think especially with Soulbreeze's fights in the previous game, I'm a little worried as to how well they'll do on it, because whilst they were a pop-off moment on their team, they also had some really big flops. So there's, yeah, Soulbreeze, if you're listening, you got a lot of pressure on you.
Don't put pressure on the players. Come on, they're better than this. But as you said, I'm also excited. You know, we're seeing a Nocturne, and that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a fight won in the jungle. Lilia still has a lot of jungle pressure, and if she plays her champion well, and if she goes for a rune like Fleet Footwork and decides to just zoom around the map, she'll have a lot of ganking opportunities to go, even a bit more than late Nocturne, right?
Yeah,
A
especially
Malphite as well.
pre-6. Especially pre-6, because Nocturne really does kind of struggle to find those ganks if it's not somebody who's pushed up, whereas Lee does have a lot more access, especially because look at the lane she's playing through. These lanes actually have consistent CC throughout their pool. She can gank top, mid, or bot and be able to play through their CC to look for a gank themselves. Meanwhile, obviously, Akali and Malphite definitely more selfish in the early game, and the fact that they are lacking some CC. So Impress has got a lot of pressure on him to mitigate early ganks, which means looking for counter ganks if possible, and create it and clearing as quickly as possible to unlock the paranoia to then play through his team and create space for the rest of his team to play more aggressively. Because
Yeah,
once
look at that Malphite
NBS and
going
Papa
Arcane Combat.
Sexy, yeah, so there you go. Once NBS and Sexy had those ultimates unlocked, it's definitely a different game.
But interesting enough, Akali's playing with Fleet Footwork, and
No,
Lulu is
that's
playing
fantastic.
with.
Fleet footwork plus Doran Shield plus Green Tree secondary. Syndra can't really create the space early game to bully her out of lane.
Well
And
then,
that's the playstyle right now. So anyway, quick pause of 10 seconds, guys, whilst we set up the game.
indeed, there we go. And we're starting up. Let's see. What do you think they're gonna start at? Because they do have that sign. That invade potential is
I
there,
think
right?
Nautilus Malphite's the big pressure in the early, right? I want to see them play through that. It does look like they're going to 5 point though. Both teams not really looking for an invade. I'm sad to see Power Fruit not push his team for an invade, especially because Nocturne would love to see Lilia's early pathing because he does have those dueling options into it. And also to mitigate any chance of any, to either look for counter engages and counter ganks, or stop Lilia from being able to get any ganks pre-6. I think you want to set up the early vision. I think it's quite important. But 5 point happens. And just a little bit of stancing. I think the big thing, right? This Syndra Akali matchup is so
Yes.
pivotal for how the rest of the game's going to play out. I think we can talk about Samira Nautilus when it gets to that stage, but I really want to see some pressure put onto this mid lane, because if Syndra can't pressure Akali enough pre-6, she's going to really start to struggle once Akali has that perfect execution unlocked.
I just want to say before the minions actually get here and the CS phase starts, I love that Syndra skin.
Is it the snow one?
Yes, it's the snow one.
Yeah. I don't mind it. I like Darkstar more. Oh wait,
Yeah,
sorry,
Darkstar's great as well.
not Darkstar, the Star Guardian one.
Ah,
That's
the
what it's
Star
called.
Guardian one, yes.
Yeah. Does Syndra have
Okay.
a Darkstar sim?
Yes, she does. It's the. I definitely know she has one where it's like cosmic and dark, but it's not
Oh,
Star
okay.
Guardian one. Yeah.
And you see there, so Akali, this is the start that you'll see default on Akali. Oh, she didn't go Doran's Shield, she did go Doran's Ring. So I guess she feels like she's going to be getting some consistency CS here. But normally people do Doran's Shield, Fleet Footwork, plus Green Tree to basically just sustain through the lane and wait for 6. Because you don't really have any pressure against Syndra pre-6, and Akali's like that in a lot of matchups.
Cyan is already Stringer is already missing some of his farm. He's trying to trade off for the grass, but you should prioritize farm early game, especially right here. Oh, look at that already. Autumn is being NBS doing a lot of damage with that QE, and the fight's already going on to the bot side. The flash is being forced out of Herman early game. Exhaust as well coming out from Lulu. Whew.
And the big thing is they managed to burn not only exhaust from Lulu, they also get the flash from Herman as well. So
Yeah.
it's really scary for this bot side already. And I think Soulbreeze and Power Fruit, they definitely understand their role in this early game.
They might understand it, but will they capitalize on it? That's the question right here, because they're trying to look for some ways to just safely farm as they're being pushed up, and they're probably scared of that Lilia gank. But right now, because it's early game, you don't have that much vision. You don't know that the enemy Lilia is still struggling onto the top side to clear out her jungle.
Yeah, and Papa Sexy. So Comet start on Malphite. It's pretty interesting. I prefer Grasp. This is like personal preference. This is a plat player talking, by the way. I prefer Grasp into tank matchups because you get to just bonk forever and actually stack up statistically without having to burn through your mana pool like crazy. He does offer the corrupting start, but we can see here he hasn't really built up the HP lead that you'd want with this arcane comet start, and in return his mana pool's already basically depleted, and Stringer's able to set up a really good wave shove in for a potential early reset.
Yeah, and look at that already. I want to talk a bit about the bot side because even the mid is kind of poking out. But the bot side, Herman and Nightshade actually hit 3 before Soul Breeze and Power Fruit. So even though they blasted off through their summoner spells, it seems like they still have quite the the pushing power here. Because the Lulu early game is a bunch of poke. You have to remember that, right?
Yeah, Tolfree's trying to keep this freeze up in bot side. I guess assuming that hopefully Nocturne can look for a lane gank either. And NBS kind of ignoring what I was saying about the start of the game. Creating a lot of pressure in this mid-game pre-6.
Yes, but Lilia seems to be holding on there. He's looking for the gank, and it seems like Nocturne is there for the counter gank. They might go for it, but still, Akali's level 4. And Impress is as well. Everybody's level 4. And it seems like the fight is going to be happening right here. Onto the bot side jungle. Impress falls down to low HP. He uses his flash, but he falls down to low HP. There you go. Autumn with the first kill.
Where's his team? Why is Autumn being left alone?
MBS finds the trade onto Autumn, but he falls down to low HP and he gets stuck in there. Oh no! Look at that! MBS manages to fall out and fake out the flash. He still gets killed by Jumba's E! Wow! Look at that! So many flashes are being used right here, and will Jumba manage to get a double kill? Yes, he does. Oh my god, even though that was so badly played by him, Jumba managed to still get 2 kills.
I mean, the flash flub, it's a bit unlucky. You know, he's a bit of a flub. It's okay, though, because he does still end up picking up the kill. I think the big thing there was that Autumn got basically deserted by his team. Jumbo didn't want any of it. Didn't want to try and threaten the Akali off like, free pathing onto the Syndra there. So Autumn does fall after picking up first blood, but in return, 2 more kills end up going over to Jimba, and this Drake is so early. This is almost
early level 4 Drake right here. Jumba's gonna have to force out the Smite if he wants to stay alive. Yes, he does. And Powerfruit apparently just tries to go in there, try to steal it. He falls down to low HP. He actually uses his flash, but oh no, NBS is falling down to low HP. Even though Herman gets taken out by Impress, he gives them another kill. The TP is being used right here by Stringer. He doesn't have level 6 though.
Crazy.
Yeah, he doesn't have level 6 yet, but MBS falling down to low HP, the Lulu might get the kill. Oh, and the flash actually for Stringer tries to get the kill, and Lulu actually with another flash. They waste 2 flashes just to try and get MBS, but they don't manage it. And it seems like they've fallen down to low HP. Stringer getting taken out into the turret, getting taken out by Soul Breeze. Is he gonna go for the kill onto Power Fruit? No, he isn't. No, he isn't. He's not gonna get it. So many people low HP there, and the 3-3 lead now is being pulled out.
There was a big lead. Then they that TP that I think is a little bit of a mistake. What happens now is that you lose pressure on any kind of more mid-game skirmishes that are more in your favor. Because nice recap for that Drake. Jumba's basically out of the fight already because he's too low to fight. And Nightshade also is basically mana depleted. So you're playing essentially a 2v3. You force the TP in to match the numbers, but just a little bit of overplay in terms of trying to desperation find a kill on onto NB when, again, look at his build, look at his itemization, his rune set. He's not playing to kill threat. He's playing to just be as tanky as possible in this early game. And they endlessly burn summoners and don't even find the kill. So
what's very interesting to me is that even though the TP was forced out there, he was part of the fight. Stringer is still out CSing Papa Sexy right here on the Malphite.
Yeah, and I think that's just a maybe incorrect wave control from Papa Sexy there. Obviously, you do have your pre-6. Your wave control is a little bit limited, but I think Stringer did a fantastic job of setting up the wave before that TP and also created a CS advantage before the TP happened.
As we said before, the Lilia is playing absolutely perfectly right here because look at, she's even winning in CS and she has 2 kills already. This is a great start looking out for her, but she will have to be wary of that bot side, you know?
Yeah, I think Jumba's definitely been playing better than Impress this series. Has been able to find those consistent CS leads and find 5 points that more befit their champion goal. But we'll see how this game 3 happens, because whilst Impress is behind, Paranoia is unlocked. He has the ultimate available now, and he has some lanes that he can really pressure through.
Yeah, but my go-to here would be take out Herald, you know, push a bit of the pressure somebody, pressure top, you know. Malphite right here is doing pretty well in the laning phase, even though he's not CSing to his best abilities. He is definitely winning out the matchup into the top lane.
Honestly, as we mentioned, we saw the CS deficit. We've seen he's already almost 2-3 camps down. I want him to clear as efficiently as possible, clear your camps as quickly as possible, and just repeatedly use his presence on the map to force some safety. Because we can see Jinx Lulu playing so far back here because that Paranoia is available, and only really pressuring up once Jumba turns around. The Paranoia is available. The earlier you burn that ultimate to try and find a kill, the earlier it's back up again. So Impress, use your ulti.
Yeah, but 1-1 on the mid side, actually. It seems like things are pretty even out, even though it's an Akali Syndra matchup. It looks like NBS is playing this very aggressively just to counter out the huge scaling potential of Syndra, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, the Jinx is definitely scarier in towards that late game, right? I think that's the real threat. The Syndra wasn't able to really find any priest expression in the Akali, but with the unleashed power, maybe. Oh,
Interesting
what an
Hex Flash
engage!
over there. Taking out Nightshade with a quick Q Power Fruit. Really, really
Oh,
well played.
so
Even
big.
Papa Sky going in and tanking out the turret. He's being drowsied out, and oh
The
my gosh, he
flash.
actually got out with a flash.
Yo, okay, it's fantastically played. What a macro choice there. Impress using the power lawyer alongside with power fruit take smash to find the first pick, and then Papa TP's in at the exact same time and gets to use that unstoppable force to pick up another 2 kills. That's really big because all of that gold went onto the Samira. You can see there 3 kills now. We check the gold. Suddenly, Samira's 1.5k gold ahead 9 minutes in.
Whew, that was really, really well played by the side of
Right,
Rocket Academy.
oh yeah, Rocket Academy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look at
really well
that.
played.
Even though Stringer actually got 2 turret plays over here, he's still out CSing
But
the Malphite quite a bit.
does that gold actually matter? Not really. Like, obviously, it feels good to have that golden string early, to get that mythic earlier, and it's definitely going to be a bit of a presence. But the problem is their comp is different now. Soul Breeze is no longer an Ezreal or a Jinx trying to find DPS in a fight. She's diving. And she's diving alongside with a comp that is really, really heavily built for it. You can see that the rest of this comp is really, really suited towards we kill one target really fucking quickly. And so long as they don't target Stringer, with this gold lead, hopefully that plan is gonna be successful.
Yeah, but look at that now, because Verax decided, you know what? Yeah, we definitely fucked it up. We got hit under the turret, and now we're at a big deficit. Okay, MBS using his ultimate there for the minions. They taken out Herald and they put it down to mid, so that's a bit more pressure that they just needed right here to kind of even things out a bit.
This is why I hate. Oh, Paranoia comes
Oh,
in. I'll talk
Paranoia
about it
comes in
later.
clutch. The
Okay,
flush.
I can still talk about it. This is why I hate Herald. It's such a maybe a pick of
No,
Nightshade.
Soul Breeze actually is being exhausted, is polymorphed, and even is stunned by Jinx's E right here. There's a lot going on to him, but he's still standing strong. The Doran's Blade I think he has, that's giving him that lifesteal, is really, really good. Oh no, he has he has Shield Bow.
Yep. But yeah, this is the issue with Herald, right? Okay, so Jumba decides to go for it as maybe Autumn's getting caught out in mid lane here.
If you get E'd right here, you're dead. Oh no. He's 1 HP. The fight actually goes down onto the Drake. Jumbas falls down to low HP, and the ultimate coming in from Power Fruit is huge. Soul Breeze getting 2 kills already, getting 3 kills here. Oh no, actually Impress gets 1 kill. He decides, you know what, I need some kills as well. I need to scale. Soul Breeze shouldn't be the only one. But that was again huge.
Honestly, fantastic skirmishing there. And the big thing there as well is that Verax Gold, their comp is separated alongside fighting against a really skirmish heavy comp. They also find themselves super separated. Autumn's getting solo killed by NBS at the same time as this fight's happening, where Jumba gets caught out really early. And Soul Breeze plays it fantastically, jumps in with his passive stacks up and slaughters 1v2. So yeah, this is what I wanted to talk about. We saw the jungle lead from Jumba, right? Had that 3 camp lead. What happens is takes the Herald, and you can see he had 4 camps up, or he had 2 camps up before Herald spawn. After he takes Herald, walks mid, and only gives 300 gold to both him and Autumn combined, right? Not
Mhm.
really that much pressure. In return, he loses his full clear. Now he's got 6 camps up. His red, his Krugs, his wolves, and his little, what are they called, Razorbacks. They've been sitting there for like 45 seconds, like a minute long.
Oh my god, MBS is so aggressive right here. He wants to get the kill under the tower, and he falls down to a low HP. Autumn is so lucky to get out of that alive.
Man, I can't wait till they nerf the second hitbox of Vakali's ulti, because that was obnoxious. He was nowhere near him, and he still gets the perfect execution damage. Almost finds the solo kill, but just didn't damage Calc properly. It's really, really close.
Actually, he needed one more auto attack at the beginning of the fight, but oh
Yeah.
well. What can he do now? As he forced Autumn to reset, and now the bot is actually being pressured into holding out mid. Nobody's actually pushing and capitalizing on that, and the ultimate goes on to Jumba from Power Fruit. It's not really the best as he misses his Q right there, but the blue is now empty, so they will take that. It seems like a fight is brewing up to the bottom side of the jungle, as
And you
it's
can
going to
see
be a
Stringer.
4v4.
This is a fantastic punish point. Oh, Power Freak gets caught out in the jungle, though.
Yes, he does, but Powerfoot actually has the Q onto Soulbreeze. No, onto the Syndra. Soulbreeze takes him down. So many
Yeah.
fast kills for the
Well, they continue to try to skirmish with the comp that just really isn't built for it. You can see that their comp's kind of a little bit split in what it wants to do. The Syndra and the Lilia definitely want to play more towards this mid game, this kind of 15-minute point. But Jinx and Lulu really aren't fit for that, especially with how behind they are. They're really just trying to scale. And in
and that
return, Autumn's now 1 and 3, Herman's 0-3 at the same time, and they're unlocking towers left and right.
that's why I said, right, why do you pick a Jinx against, like a Samira? It's very scary and it's very player heavy, on you to try to outscale a Samira early game, especially when she has that much of a gold lead on you.
Yeah, and I think this one's a little bit of a draft diff. I think blue side draft is looking insane, especially because this kind of draft is meant to be leading towards you getting ahead. Well, they've got that lead now. 4K at 15 minutes, and
Oh my god, look at the
I
damage
it's so hard for red side, especially with the. I mean, they managed to grab first Drake, right? But Verax Gold, what are their options now coming into this mid game? It's super limited because Jinx is the only champion that Lulu can really properly play through. That's the only way you're going to get real value out of picks, out of the rest of her kit. She's playing with double AP and a tank. So the skirmish options are going to be so hard for Lilia to play through properly because the only real skirmisher she has to play with alongside is Syndra. So you're going to see, hopefully you're going to see some early Merc Treads picked up here, or at least some MR to kind of mitigate this mid game from the Syndra and the Lilia, and then the comp closes up.
Yeah, but at least you can think of it positively for Verax as well, because you're feeding up that Samira, right? But you're feeding up a bounty right here, and the gold lead isn't world ending. It's only a 4K gold. I say only a 4K gold lead, but that's like a whole mythic, right? That's a whole item.
Yeah. And the
It
big
is
thing is that gold lead that's just on Soul Breeze. Soul Breeze is
yes.
almost a full item ahead of Jinx.
That's what I'm saying, right? The whole goal lead is on Soul Breeze right now. So if they focus Soul Breeze enough, and if they manage to get the kill on somebody like, Autumn or
Yep.
Jumba,
Yep.
it is game changing.
In an ideal world, maybe that would happen. I think obviously the options are limited because they are playing into Nocturne, Nautilus. So finding those easy pick options to Soul Breeze is going to be quite difficult, but maybe they can make it happen. In the meantime, some really good vision points being set up by Power Fruit and Impress here. They push. You can see how far up their vision line is already pushed because they know how threatening they are. And in return, this second Drake should be pretty much free for them. And Ocean Drake, not really super favorable for their comp, but it's definitely good to take that away. And it does mean that in any extended fights where the Jinx and the Syndra might be able to have good game time, they don't.
Yeah,
A
but
fantastic
look at
option
this.
here, at least, to
Yeah.
try and trade for this dragon. They trade it away and take the Herald instead.
That's pretty good right here, but I just hope NBS doesn't actually just one-shot Autumn into the turret, because he has the ability to do that right now. He has so much damage. On one Q, I saw that Lulu's health just decided to go poof.
The big thing with this Herald, I really want to see this held and used effectively. The first Herald was a really big waste. the optimal way to be using Herald. Not only is it to be taking it when you don't have jungle to clear, when you can, you know, maximize that efficiency itself, but also you want to be taking it when plating's down to 3 so that you can unlock that full tower. Because the first 2 plates are the easiest plates to take. After that, it gets difficult, and the Herald, it knocks out 3 plates flat. So you can use that after the first 2 plates to unlock the tower. Oh, big pick.
Benson, there you go. Impress trying to go in. He's holding out that turret. Kind of. Oh, is he gonna go down here? No, he's not. 1 HP. He's gonna get away. And good
And even with
ultimate
the,
usage by both of them.
I mean, even with the missed synergy, right? NBS went in a little bit late there, but it didn't really matter. They're just that ahead, and Impress is that tanky with the Stride Breaker. Combine that with the CDR boost, he's got the ulti up pretty consistently, and you can see there, it's already, you know, he just better used it. It's on an 80-second cooldown. It's already almost halfway up again, so.
It's so scary to see a Samira 6-1. You
Yep.
know, especially right here in a tournament, you know that Samira is gonna pop off, and Soulbreeze has been living up to his name. He's been playing ADC really, really well. I think Herman has kind of fallen up a bit into the light. He's not really gotten his spotlight as much as Soulbreeze did, but you have to think about the support. I think Nightshade, in my opinion, played a bit better the last 2 games than Powerfood, but right now Powerfood on the Nautilus is absolutely insane. He's
Yeah, I think
spamming out
that's
the
mostly
covers.
because it functions really well with this comp, right? This comp is really well drafted in that each champion's goals align with each other. And yeah, Soul Breeze opting for the Lord Doms here, I think is a very interesting choice. Clearly threatened by Stringer's itemization, but I think honestly, BT is such a good pickup here because the only real fights that could be lost would be fights that end up getting a little bit extended, and picking up the BT would really mitigate that. But you know, it's whatever. Itemization here probably doesn't matter too much unless they have a really bad fight, because the Jinx and the Lulu are basically out of this game right now.
Still be playing it like they have a chance. They shouldn't just give up. And I think that if they, you know, focus on Stringer and kind of play around him, and maybe even Jumba, they might have a chance. They might have a chance coming back. I'm still trying to be positive, but oh, look at that Autumn, poor Autumn, getting dove onto the turret so hard. But while that happened, you know, Stringer got the 1v1 potential done, and he killed out Akali, which is a pretty decent bounty, right? 300 gold.
I think
Pretty
that's
nice.
really funny. Tanks are very balanced, by the way. Just completely ignoring itemization, building Bramble Vest, and then still winning a 1v1 against Akali. It is what it is. And here's a way better usage of Herald. So they summon at halfway point, and they should be able to unlock this tower here. But the pick and Autumn leading into the Baron here, they have complete vision control of this. There is no way for Verax Gold to know this is happening.
Well, I mean, the Lulu Oracle lens might just touch up on it. Maybe.
In place, they know it's happening now.
Yeah. Can anybody do anything about it, though? I think just the Jinx with the W, but...
Oh my god, the smite was
So
so
close.
scary. You gotta be really careful when you're doing that.
It looks like NBS Tencent is trying to get his revenge, but won't actually go for it. He fears that he's gonna get baited in. And I think, yeah, Baron going out. Even though Baron actually went out, they all reset, and now mid tower is completely empty. It's completely taken out.
Yep.
Bot
That
side
is
is
the
looking
big
pretty decent as well.
issue with taking the Baron this early, is it kind of gives the enemy team 2 turns to do whatever they like, because not only do they get the space from that Baron, they also get to immediately take you up on anything that you leave up once you're on reset as well. So they pick up mid tower. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to mean too much for them. What it does really enable is Stringer to be able to start to look for these kind of mid-game engages.
Look at that. Stringer is still 1v1ing Tencent, and I think he's doing a pretty goddamn good job at it, even though Powerfood might have to say something about it. Yeah, there you go. The ultimate goes in from both sides, actually. Impress and Powerfood find the ultimate onto Tencent, onto Stringer, and he falls down to 1 HP. He gets taken out. Who actually got the kill there? I couldn't see. Akali, yeah?
Akali did. Yeah, Akali picked that one up. And this is really big, because look at this boss side wave. So they've got a really big wave stacked up. They try and burn through it, but in turn, this leads into the third Drake for them. So Roccet looking really strong in this game right now. That 4K lead has remained stagnant, but it doesn't really matter too much, because you can see objectives are being slowly whittled out. And this third Drake, 2 Ocean Souls upgraded. Oh, bit of pressure onto Envy, but yeah,
but I think NBS, if he really wanted to, he could get a triple kill.
And this is where we talked about it, right? How these champions, they're pretty hard to pilot. Akali ended up getting solo killed by the sun at the same time. Autumn's not really utilizing Syndra effectively. When you're playing through this champion, you want to be maximizing the amount of Dark Spheres you have on the ground to really get the maximum amount of that unleashed power, right? This ulti does more damage the more balls you have on the field. And not only ends up using it really early in that fight for some reason, but also burns it into the bone plating. So just wasting tools needlessly definitely isn't going to give you the space to try and make a correct shutdown to try and turn this game around.
At the end of the day, you're just saying that Autumn doesn't have enough balls, which, well, we'll see in the mid lane, phasing lane. So, I
1
guess.
and 5. I mean,
Another
not flame. I'm sorry. I'm color caster. It's what I have to do. So yeah, just a little bit of stancing up here is kind of the only options they really have at the moment. I think you can see they've Verax Gold have done a good job of resetting some of their vision. They've got some baseline vision now in each jungle entry point to try and deal with some of the fight points that are going to be presented to them. But I mean, Nocturne's such a big boy at this moment. Almost done 2 items at 20 minutes. I think Akali's 2 items. The Samira's looking for her 3rd. There's some really big threats on the team, and Jinx has just finished that Kraken Slayer.
Yeah, nah, the bot lane was actually finished from the beginning. And look at that! NBS is playing so aggressively. He actually got out of that with just a slight poke. I'd say that was a questionable use of her ultimate. Maybe she didn't expect Stringer to be there.
Oh, big.
Drowsy onto the Samira. Will he get the kill? Soul Breeze falls down to low HP, but that Soul Steal. Oh my god, the life steal is actually huge. He takes out Lily like it's nothing. And Jinx gets the kill. The big shutdown, 1000 gold. Will they get Impress as well? Yes, they will. Oh my god, Jinx, are you gonna come back? Nightshade falls down to 1 HP, but it looks like Papa Sexy can't do anything about it. Falls down to low HP. Oh my god. Jinx, will you get the Penta? Are you looking for the Penta?
NB looking for this though. He doesn't have the ulti available.
NBS, can you get the remaining kills? Can you clean up over here after Autumn? It looks like you cannot. Power Fruit is trying to find something for him. He doesn't have an ultimate though, so he can't get the kill onto the Lulu, as Stringer is looking very, very scary here.
Yeah, finally gets to impact that fight, but that really wasn't him. I think just over-aggression from Soul Breeze ends up getting caught. And okay, if anybody can read the chat there, shut down Samira, 700 gold onto Jinx. Shut down Nocturne, 600 gold onto Jinx. Shut down Malphite, gold onto Jinx. She's suddenly,
That's
her
a whole
gold
item.
has popped down from 3,000 to just 1,000. She's bought 2 items from that. She finishes her Lord Bombs and she's finished the Executioners into a Mortal Reminder. I think the 3rd item is a bit of a mistake. I think you want to see IE as quickly as possible, but this Jinx is suddenly a lot more of a threat.
I think Executioner Skull is actually, maybe you shouldn't build that whole Mortal Reminder, but I think it's not the worst thing imaginable. You have to be thinking about the Samira 1v1 potential. And
Samira. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just to slow down the Samira's healing in these fights, and we did see that the fact that because she bought that Lord Dom 2nd, Samira won't be building that BT now until 4th, so reducing that healing is going to be really important. But I'm going to still kind of doubt her potential DPS in these fights without the IE unlocked. Because once the IE is unlocked, it's certain that Jinx is going to be doing big damage to these threats.
Well, until then, I guess we just have to wait and look over at Stringer, who's really just the one that's kind of, how do I put this nicely, not really been feeding that much on his team.
Okay, yeah, exactly. But he's creating, and he's also creating some really consistent side lane threat. Yeah, this NBS has been trying so hard to kind of unlock Stringer and has been yet unable to do so. So Stringer's doing a fantastic job of kind of mitigating pressure. And once these team fights start, it's going to be really important for Herman to be able to find proper DPS. If Stringer's in there, slowing Soul Breeze down, stopping them from free stacking, and then engaging onto Herman. So really their comp's suddenly getting really exciting, right? Because they're only 3k down, and Jinx is on 3 items now. This comp is starting to time out.
Yeah, I'm just really sad that Autumn is kind of out of the game so far. Like, MBS is 2 levels above him, and MBS is clearly a much bigger threat than Autumn right here.
Yeah. So, this is exactly the kind of thing we want to see.
No. The ultimate coming in from Nautilus, from Malphite as well. 2 kills coming out from Samira. 3 kills actually. Will she get the Penta? No, she will not. As Impress actually gets the final kill onto Jumba right here. Stringer tries to keep alive. Will he get at least 1 kill before he goes down? I don't think so. Ah, that was so well played over.
Okay,
Oh
and it
my
looks like
god.
both Baron and Dragon should be options at the same time here. You put the Malphite on the Drake, slowly takes it at the same time. You should actually no, even better choice here. This is really good. Impress Soda takes Drake. In the meantime, they unlock this mid tower. I really like this. This is efficiency in your post game. This is the kind of stuff you want to be doing when you're hitting this kind of level of play. Is you want to be starting to see, okay, well, when we take an when we finish a fight, when we take an objective, what are things we can take afterwards? And they take the dragon on top of taking this mid tower as well.
The
Really good.
Super Mega Death Rocket leaves Impress at 1 HP. He was 20 HP literally.
Nice. Unlucky
Oh.
from the Herman there to not pick up that kill. But yeah, just I think Jinx, really suffering that time. And that was the issue with the previous fight, right? Is that, first of all, Soul Breeze went in. Then Impress jumped in with a Paranoia. He died, and then the Unstoppable Force was used to engage onto Herman. That time they were able to synergize with each other. They engaged at the same time, and you could see Herman just get completely deleted. Desperation Baron happens, though.
Yeah, Desperation Barrow over here. And it looks like Malphite has caught onto it. He's telling his team, come over here, get your asses fast. And the teleport is being used up by Akali as well, but I don't think they can be fast enough.
Oh,
Don't, they
sleep
don't-
just onto Malphite.
Yeah, that's good. They can't use ultimate anymore. And
Oh,
look at
what a
that.
steal!
Oh my god, steal of the century Impress with a team fight
That's
over
game.
here. Oh my god, that's game. That's definitely game. Oh my. Impress. Soul Breeze.
Impress, you trying to find a highlight reel? What's going on, buddy? You can chillax. You can relax, buddy. It's okay. Nobody was
Oh
worried
my
about your jungle,
god.
man. Holy. Okay, cool. Fantastically played from the entire side of Rocket there. But a special shout outs to Impress using Paranoia. Number one, restricts the vision. Gets the jump in onto Herman at the same time as that huge Unstoppable Force comes out and steals the Baron mid jump. Fantastically played.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
and shout out to whoever drafted this comp. I think the drafts in the first two games were they were okay from both sides. This is a fantastically drafted comp. This is the exact kind of counter draft you want to see when you see like an early Lulu or an
Oh,
early
big
Jinx,
stun
something like
actually
that.
coming in from bottom.
Bit of an
They can't
engagement.
do
It doesn't
anything. No,
matter
they
though.
can't do
The game's
anything.
just gonna be
GG.
one. GG.
Oh my
Okay.
god, GG's. Team
Alright.
Rocket Academy, who are your players?
No, and that leads us fantastically into it because Impress is such a fantastic game there, and it turns out we're gonna be having him for the interview here. So I think if we
Yes.
I would love to just jump straight into the interview.
Yes, please. Let's see what they have to say.
Quickly. Yes, please. Let's get him in here. But no, what a fantastic draft, I think, especially in game 3. Oh, Impress. Hello,
Hello,
buddy.
Impress.
Oh, how you doing?
How's it going?
Amazing game.
Was it fun?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Very fun.
man. Okay, the final fight. Bro, you slid in there. That was real nice. No, I loved casting that final game. Did you have
Yeah.
fun?
Oh, I was having fun. You know, I was
Fantastic.
just it was a bit. I can understand the Baron call, right? It was a good desperation. It was really good.
Yep.
The sound ult gave it kind of away, so we heard the sound and it was like, okay, let's TP in the
Rushing
on
top
Baron, and then I don't know, in the best GTA San Andreas style, I guess.
Just drive by.
But-
No, fantastic. Okay, cool.
but-
So I want to call you back to if we look back at game 1, right? Okay.
What happened there?
Maybe a little bit of a draft diff. So we'll go over that briefly. How did you feel after game 1 with that game in mind? You know, like obviously the Nocturne got given away. It wasn't really, I guess you weren't really considering it for your draft game 1. And then
Mhm.
how did you adapt into that game 3? Were you thinking about the Nocturne in game 1?
We game 1, right? We didn't consider the Nocturne. Well, we discussed it briefly, and we said, okay, we can play into it. But shout out to Verax because the Nocturne pick itself made it really chaotic. At least it felt like for me, because I tried to we had. I think in this iteration we had like one scrim set together because we all been very busy recently.
Yep.
And then when the paranoia hits, it just gets really really chaotic. And for a new team, I think it's way worse.
Yeah.
And then we were like, damn, we can't. We have to ban it game 2. And then before heading in game 2, I said, guys, if we win this, they're gonna choose red side because they think because red side then won 2 games, right? So obviously it makes sense to fall back to that. And then we just first picked an auction and then just roll with it.
I am curious though, on your side of the team, who was the one that thought up the drafts, right? Who was the one that thought, okay, we're gonna start banning the the target picks first of all, and then we're gonna look back at here on the third match. We saw some amazing drafts going into it.
So like prep, the most of the work did like Sean Houston. Shout out to him. He did like laid down a rough game plan, a draft plan, like especially in terms of banning and stuff, and like for adapting because he wasn't here. We took over as a collective. I would say obviously there are like some leading voices in it. Everyone chimes in. We had something spicy prepared for game 3, but people didn't have the balls. It's like a collective effort, I would say. Obviously, everyone chimes in. Everyone knows their role the best, and then we, at the end, someone has to have the final say. But yeah, just work together as a team.
Incredibly well played.
Finally, questions for draft. I'll get those out of the way. Anivia game 2. So game 1, I think NBS had I think quite a good game on it ultimately, even with the draft you ended up playing with. Game 2 you had the option to play it and you ended up opting obviously outside of it instead. Was that just you were like, this isn't gonna work in this game set anymore, or were you considering it? And what about game 3?
Game 2 we wanted a little bit more range. It was a bit inferior then because we ended up with not a clear primary engage tool, but we tried the Ezreal Corki combo as our 2 carries, and then just beefy meat shields around it. And we wanted to play the range game. That was the thought behind that. I think it worked out well. Soul and Nigel did a really stellar job, as well as like Mike and Power Fruit on like peeling for them.
Yep.
And then for game 3, I said, like, I told them that we're gonna first pick Nocturne no matter what, because they're gonna leave it open, because we banned it game. Like we didn't pick it game 1, right? So they won't consider it, or they maybe will be surprised. And then I said, okay, they're gonna go for Jinx. I expect them to go for Sin pick, and I said if they lock in Jinx, we just go full ham, like Samira, Malphite.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nah, very good. Well, great. I think that's it from us, Trey. Anything else?
Well, I mean, yeah, again, extremely well played from both teams. I want to say that you on Rocket Academy were definitely. I just want to say that you especially impressed the first like game 1 and game 2. Had a bit of a fall off. Everybody in your team was kind of outshining you, but you were still doing your jungle clears and your ganks really, really well, especially on the Volibear play. But here at the end, on the game of the Nocturne, I just have to say props to you. You kind of won the last fight, the last 10 to 15 minutes, were on your and Samira's hands. So GG's to that, and I think that's about it.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I have to give credit to Lordio here. Like he's our sub in the main team, right? And he's like jungle main, because I just swapped to jungle recently, like 2 weeks ago maybe. Because well, I wanted to retire in peace, but my teammates didn't let me, so I have to play. I have to learn jungle, and like we talked about pathing. We talked about how what I want to do on certain champions. I limited myself to a very small champion pool for now, and tried to work with that. And he gave really good insight. So he looks really dumb, and sometimes he says dumb shit. But Ryan's a smart guy when it comes to jungling.
No, fantastic. Well, congratulations to you and your team. I hope you take week 1 in your stride. Any other shout outs you want to do?
I have a question for you guys.
Oh, okay.
What do you think of Thresh mid? Is that a good pick? My main team discusses it, and I'm coaching them, right? And I want to get an outside opinion on it.
Well, it's it's a good pick and support.
No,
a good
I will say that, depends on depends whoever plays around it. If you have a jungler kind of trying
it
to really hard holding down that mid line, and you kind of playing defensively and waiting for the enemy to kind of push you around and having a lot of, vision around the mid side, I think maybe, just maybe it can work, but don't force it.
Okay, thanks.
uh it's a good pick and support.
It's a good
Anyway,
pick and
right,
support.
thank
Okay.
you. Thank you for the interview, man. It's really nice seeing you again. I wish you the best
Yeah.
of luck in the rest of your games. I was rooting for you the whole time.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Oak.
Casters are not allowed to have preferences. Oh,
I don't give a fuck. Right. Thank you, Impress, for that. And thank you,
Thanks.
everybody, for watching. Just before we leave, obviously, we do have a sponsor, True Haven Esports Academy. I think, was it Silverback who did the coaching with them? And they're the reason why we're getting sponsored by them now, is because their coaching seemed to help him. So there is a link in the Discord for 10 hours of team coaching for £15 an hour. Go hit it up if you are interested. Hopefully, it will help you in great strides. Well played to Team Roccet and Verax goal today. I think especially some really exciting games. Let's say it that way. We got some really good skirmishes. So yeah, thank you for everybody for watching. This was Oak and Atroy.
yep. We'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.